it going, guys? Thank you for joining me back here at the ShawnCast. Oh man, my fucking head, dude, is swimming with fucking thoughts right now. We just got back from seeing the fucking Joker, the new film with Joaquin Phoenix. Dude, holy shit. That was a great fucking movie, or at least I think it was. What did you guys think about it?
And the people are here is...
It's the same fucking crew that's always here, bro. It's Dan, it's Courtney, it's you. We're only missing Black Mike. Okay, Black Mike's gone. Y'all can cry. Move on. What was the movie like?
Yes.
Yes? Just yes.
It was
I
good.
think they picked a good person to play Joker. Joaquin Phoenix did an amazing job.
Oh, hell yeah. Super amazing job. I was actually skeptical about him first, but I was pretty proud of the way he portrayed the Joker.
And just heads up for everybody, spoiler alert incoming. Just in case you haven't seen it and you don't want to hear any spoilers.
Yeah,
You might
Turn
want
it
to
off
wait.
now.
yeah, just be done.
Truth be told, the upload rate of this podcast will probably be out by the sequel, but whatever. Either way. No, that movie is something different. I don't know. There was something different about that movie. I can't put my finger on it totally, but it was one of those movies that it was not what you expected, but what you expected at the same time. I don't know if that makes sense. Why is the kitty trying to invade the podcast? Go away. You had your hair time.
That was good. I think they like a huge focus on it was like mental health and how people with those problems like go through the daily life, and like it really shined a light on that. And I feel like a lot of other movies kind of hint at it and show little parts of it, but this one really kind of went in depth in showing like just how troubled he was and how many issues he had, and not necessarily to make it an excuse and say that, oh, you know, he's not a bad guy necessarily, he just has problems. Like, he has problems, but
He was also a bad guy to begin with.
yeah, maybe not to begin with, but he always had like those issues there where he couldn't control himself from acting out.
Yeah,
True.
but he goes slightly too far every time. Where it's understandable that he would do those things, like at least at first, but after that, it's like, no, you didn't have to do all that. You could have just stopped, and you didn't.
Right.
So at first you feel like bad for him, and then you're like, hey, stop. Like,
Yeah,
this isn't.
it's not. He's not like an anti-hero. He's a bad guy, but
Yeah, he's a bad guy.
they do make it like at certain points you do. He comes across as like human and all that, and you feel bad for him, and at the same time, you know, I just feel like they did a good job of portraying like a good Joker character where he has issues and so he has moments of where he seems human and all that, but at the same time, at the end of the day, he's psychotic, he's crazy, and he kills people on a whim. So he's therefore, you know, a bad person.
Yeah.
I like that they actually showed the backstory to the Joker. They didn't make him the Joker the entire movie. They actually showed, you know, how he became this evil person.
Right. The slow descent into madness. I think that's something that we see a lot, but I think it's a reflection of how society ignores
Well,
the pleas
we don't
for
see
help,
it a lot.
descent into
They
madness.
try and show it a lot, but they do it terribly because they're like, oh, we're gonna supposedly show the descent into madness, but they'll do it in like 5 minutes, and then all of a sudden he's crazy.
No. I mean in real life.
Game of Thrones, Daenerys Targaryen.
Yep.
I'm
That's-
talking about
they
in
should
real
have
life that you
taken-
see with people.
If they would have gone this route of showing her steadily, slowly, progressively get mad and before she snapped, instead of like, oh, she's crazy all of a sudden, like, it would have been much better. So yeah, that's
Yeah, we got the bottom line. Game of Thrones suck. I'm so glad that I did not invest
they
my
did it.
fucking time.
They did a descent into madness a lot better than
That shit was a pencil dive straight into madness, bro.
yeah.
I don't know. I'm glad I didn't waste my time with that show. I'm so glad.
But anyway, the Joker.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, like
Sorry.
what I meant
I know.
to say that we see it all the time. We don't see it a lot of time in the movies. I'm talking about in real life. Like we see those slow turns, and sometimes I feel like we just choose to ignore them.
Yeah, if anyone would have just given him a hug, like he probably would have been okay.
I'm not even saying a hug. I mean, just like proper treatment. Like, have him. When he, again, spoiler alert, when he discovers everything that he discovers about himself, about his mother, and everything like that, how come no one stopped it there? How come no one was like, all right, clearly he's fucked up. Clearly there's a problem. Let's go ahead and move him over in a facility that we can help him.
Well, I mean,
he was severely abused.
Who?
But yeah, he was the only person that was like had any sort of certification that was interacting with him was his therapist, who got gutted because they ran out of money, so they canned her.
No. I'm talking about when he was a kid. When they found him as a kid.
But we don't know that. We don't know what they did. Like, seems like they did something
because
he doesn't remember it.
Yeah, because he was going through a therapist, so maybe he's been in that program for
His
entire adult life. They just never thought it was as serious as it was. You
Possibly.
know, because he never showed, like, at least from what we gathered, he never showed like violent tendencies throughout his childhood or anything like that. He just was diagnosed with, you know, uncontrollable laughter in situations that don't call for it, and
he's just awkward.
Yeah, he seemed to have like a learning disability. He seemed like some sort of.
He didn't register shit right.
Yeah, he just didn't. He was just not all there. So maybe they just thought, oh, give him his medication and he'll be fine. And
he's harmless. Like,
yeah, all of a sudden he wasn't anymore.
He's like the type of dude, like, hey, just give him a job and leave him alone, and everyone's fine.
And yeah,
but no one did that.
Yeah.
Even his therapist, when they had the funding, she clearly wasn't paying attention.
Right.
She clearly didn't care.
Which she got upset about because he was saying, like, oh, you're not listening to me. You never listen to me. I'm telling you this and that, and all you're talking about is, you know, all this other shit. So
you keep asking the same questions every week.
Over and over.
Yeah.
And he even gives her his notebook, which is all his craziness, and she
does nothing.
She looks at one line, like, oh, maybe my death will mean more than like my life, or it was something like that. And it was just like,
my death will make more sense than my life, or something.
And it was just like, even then, she's just like, okay, what does that mean to you? And that can be a way of getting somewhere, but she didn't do anything after that. She didn't follow up questions. She just asked him, and when he didn't give her an answer, she was like, all right, see you next week. It's like,
yeah.
It was kind of like, please say there's nothing wrong. Please say there's nothing wrong, so I can just fucking go home and get over it.
And then he asked for more medication because he wanted to be happy, pretty much, and she just gave it to him. Like, and even though in a way she pretended like, oh, I'm not going to do that, I'm not going to give it to you. But she does, because it's an easier solution.
Yeah.
Did she, though? Because I thought she said, like, you already have, like, 7 different medications.
Yeah, but right after that, he had the yeah. So she clearly gave it to him.
Or maybe he just went for a refill. We don't know if she really gave it to him, but it's a good assumption.
Like she would. Like, it's
an easy way out.
Along with the rest of her, small character, but it makes sense. Like, oh, I'm just going to medicate this person. I'm not going to actually help him. And maybe that's what he's been dealing with his entire life.
I think that also reflects on the ending of it, where you see him walk out of the therapist's office and there's bloody footprints and everything. After you see that he's kind of engaging with her, I feel like he felt that she was the same. She didn't really give a shit. She was like, "You're just another fucked up criminal. What am I doing here?" You know, just kind of bleak and like, "Well, why don't you tell me the joke?" When he's like fucking laughing.
And he was saying, like, you
wouldn't get it. I don't know. I just think. I don't know. I think a lot of the reason that people didn't like this movie coming out is it's a reflection on what we're exactly doing.
Not people, critics.
Yeah.
They didn't. At first, they liked it, and then they're like, "Oh wait, we can spin this into some bullshit narrative," and then all of a sudden they didn't like it. Because if you go look, it won awards and stuff, and then all of a sudden, like a switch. Oh, we can't show this movie. This movie's bad. We can't have it in theaters. Like, what the hell? Oh,
it's because people are shining a bad light on mental health because everyone's fucking it up.
Yeah, and
no
they want a scapegoat, and they did the same thing that the Joker would do. They caused mass hysteria. So much so, like the FBI and like some cops at some theaters like patting people down. They can't have costumes. They can't. It's like, you guys created the monster. This movie didn't. This movie has nothing to do with that. Joker technically doesn't even create the mob. The mob just happens. He just happens to be the figurehead. He didn't. He wasn't like, I'm the figurehead. Eventually, he kind of does.
Yeah.
But he was more. He's more like, yay, chaos.
Yeah, he was just tired. Like the thing that sparked it all off was when he killed those 3 like wealthy rich kids or whatever in the
The
train.
Wall Street
There
guys.
was already like rumblings. You could hear it in like the news
Yeah.
reports and stuff. Like, shit's already going bad, and then it's like, oh, someone fought
Somebody
back.
stood up to
Cool.
him, but the only reason he didn't do it because
Yeah,
they were rich and they were Wall Street and they were this and that. He did it because they were
First he
They
didn't
were
wanna
fucking
do
with
beating
it.
the shit out
Yeah.
of him.
Yeah, he didn't want to do it.
they were fucking with him, and he finally snapped. He was like, "All right, I have this gun that I should not have, and I'm
He was
gonna
pretty
fucking
much
use it."
crying. He was trying to reach
For his card
for
and the
his
guy.
bag.
fucking-
For his, yeah, it's like, hey, I'm not laughing. I have a condition, and they just kicked the crap out of him because he was like, because you could clearly see in his face, like Joaquin Phoenix, holy shit, good job, dude.
yeah,
Like,
for
in
real,
his
dude. Like,
face,
fuck.
He's upset. He's crying because he sees that she's being messed with, and he knows the feeling clearly, and he's like, I don't know what to do, because he could have just, if he was gonna kill them, why didn't he just pull out the gun and start shooting?
Yeah.
No, she left. He waited until he was getting his ass kicked again, and it wasn't like, oh, one kick he pulls up down.
No, he was
No,
bloody.
He was like getting the shit kicked out of him for. It felt like minutes. I mean, it was probably 10, 20 seconds, but
But it
in
felt
the
a long
theater,
time,
it
yeah.
felt like
Mm.
he was pushed to that.
But that's the reason why I think the
Which is-
critics didn't want that to happen, because it's not a reflection on how mental health is in their society. It's not a reflection of the monster or anything like that, or creating the chaos. I think it's because it points a finger back at them and being like, you're doing this. This is your guys' fault. Even if it's not completely your fault, you're a big part of it. And no one is stopping to say anything.
But I also think we're all reading into it too, because each of us can read into something different.
Yeah, of course, of course.
But the fact that they, and which I guess, it's okay. Like, everyone should be able to do that. But we're also not telling everybody, no, you can't go see this. No, you can go see it.
Yeah.
And at least in my case, I don't know how you guys feel, but if, let's say something happened, hopefully not. Nothing, I don't think anything's gonna fucking happen.
No, I
but
don't
if it
think so.
did, it's not Joker's fault. It's not the movie's fault.
No.
It's that person's fault.
Yeah.
That's what
It's
this
the same
also
thing
what
of
this
them
movie shows.
blaming violence on violent movies and violent
Video
video
games.
games. Like,
It's 'cause they don't
no,
want, they don't want to
Yeah.
take the blame.
that's not how it is.
It's
Like,
they don't want to take the blame, and they don't want to blame, some random person. No, because people are supposed to be good. People are supposed to be nice and sweet. It's not like that. There's a lot of people in this world who are fucked up, whether they have mental health issues or not. They are fucked up, and sometimes it is a mental health issue, and sometimes people need to get, treatment, medication, all that stuff. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But there's always still room for a choice. Always.
But they
and one thing I'll say that they did really good was they kind of showed how, especially, I mean, maybe not especially nowadays, but it seems relevant that anytime you see somebody, whether they're famous or just like famous people to a certain extent because they're on the spotlight, you see somebody, oh my God, what's going on with Antonio Brown, for example? Everybody's like, even though possibly maybe he's really going through some mental shit, and that's making him do this. In the moment, everybody's just like, oh, making fun of him and calling him names, and I'm part of it too because I'm like, okay, what is this guy doing? Like, why is he doing all these crazy things?
And we don't know what
So,
he's going through.
and yeah, maybe something really is wrong with him, and we won't find out until it's too late. And then everybody's like, oh, I feel so, But I feel like that's how we are as a society. Is when you see somebody going through something, you just kind of laugh and make fun of them, and you're not looking to help them. You're laughing at them because they're down. And then it's when they die or when they kill themselves or when something bad happens, then you're all of a sudden like,
shit.
oh no, like it's like, well, yeah, dude, what do you think? They were crying for help, and maybe they weren't doing it the right way, but they were, So I feel like that was kind of shining a light or putting a mirror in front of a lot of people's faces, being like, look, this is how a lot of people treat those kind of
You don't know what's
people,
going on.
and you never know what they're dealing with,
Exactly, because if you want my opinion, my honest opinion
No.
about the whole fuck you about the whole Antonio Brown thing, I'm looking at Antonio Brown. The only thing I'm seeing is early symptoms of CTE. Literally, it's what it is. Those symptoms fit perfectly.
Could be. And plus, if you think about it too, like his first several years in the league, he never had any drama. He never had any craziness. Like he was a quiet kind of, he was flashy with his hair and what he did on the field. But after that, like Vontez Perfect hit when he got, knocked the fuck out for a couple seconds. It seemed like shortly after that, all these the Instagram video of the locker room was like one of the first things that everybody's like, oh, you shouldn't be doing that. And then all these other things started coming out. Like it just seemed. I'm not saying maybe who knows, but it could be a part of it where he literally is just like losing his mind. Who knows?
A lot of people don't remember this.
Exactly what you just said. Who knows? It's nobody knows. Not saying nobody knows, and there is people that could diagnose all that stuff. Yeah. Is that nobody cares enough to find out?
Yeah, nobody cares enough to find out. And real quick, just to tell people out there, we're not medical professionals. We don't know how to diagnose CTE. I'm just saying based on what I've seen so far from the very few cases that I've seen, again, on TV, on radio, on all that stuff. I'm not a professional. I don't know if he has CTE or not. I'm just talking shit because I think that's what it sounds like, because it sounds familiar. Another person who's going through the same thing, Tony Ferguson.
And
they were laughing at him.
Yeah.
He's going through a lot of shit.
And I just brought up Antonio Brown because he's one of the more recent and the most polarizing one that's going on right now. But I've seen other cases where I forget the YouTuber's name.
I might know.
He was going through some stuff, and like he was doing all this crazy stuff, and everybody was bashing him like on Twitter and YouTube, all these, calling him out, doing all this and that, and then he actually had like mental health issues and killed himself. Oof. Like he jumped off a bridge, I think it was.
How long ago was this?
A couple months ago.
Because it sounds familiar. I don't remember the design.
I can't. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he did a lot of like reaction videos and stuff. Like he'd watch stuff and like have like out like something with an E. I forget his name. But anyway, and then like after he died, like the same people that were like making fun of him and kicking when he was down and
we're like, saying
all this stuff like, oh, I'm so sorry, I can't believe he died. I can't believe
we really cared about him.
Yeah,
it's like you really can't believe that happened.
And people were calling them out like, hey, fuck you, like you were kicking him down just a couple months ago when he was going through all this stuff, and but people don't care about the person. They just, oh, this is material. I can get a rise out of people by making fun of him. People that will support my idea, and people that will be pissed off at me. I don't care. They're still clicking on my video.
But also to in a way to defend them, he also did put himself out there.
He did.
If you're gonna, this podcast in general, we're gonna get criticism.
Of course.
That's part of it. You know what I mean?
Of course.
That's part of it. But I do understand what you're saying, man. It just at a certain point,
No, yeah, I'm not saying.
Not
I'm not
all
saying
of them. It's also
absolutely.
Hey, if you were going through, if you're going through stuff, I could every situation is different.
Of course.
But if you're going through stuff like that, you should probably tone down your YouTube but maybe he was in a bad spot where that's his only way of making money and he had to. Right. I don't know what happened, and I don't want to.
Yeah, I didn't really
do that. I'm just saying
But I see Dan's point. Someone should have reached out. Someone should have been like, "Hey,"
and we don't. And also, we don't know.
He could have had people. It just wasn't enough, and
In a case like you're talking about, a lot of people don't remember this. I don't know if you guys do. Going back to sports real quick, Chris Benoit. A lot of people made fun of him and everything like that, and a lot of people talk shit about him because of the shit that he started going through. He started having like a lot of drama, and then all of a sudden, he killed his family and he killed himself. And people were like, no, like we reached out to him, like we were asking him, hey, are you okay?
But
like
that doesn't
something's wrong.
They're gonna say,
yeah, exactly.
Or they don't want to admit that something's wrong, and that's what makes them go crazy even more. Well, not necessarily crazy, but causes even more issues.
Right.
Yeah, I can speak from personal experience. The only reason you guys even knew something was wrong is because I couldn't take it anymore.
Yeah, right. Otherwise, you would have kept
And until Sean and Mike were like they would come in my room and like, why are you crying? Or what's wrong? Or it happened the other day when I was moving in. Sean came to my room and was like, hey, you're crying. And went, no, I'm not. And I generally wasn't, but I was. I had like tears. I didn't know that I was. And until he said something, I was fine. I was setting up my computer. I didn't know. And so maybe the person, what I'm trying to get is maybe the person that's going through it doesn't even know something's wrong. Maybe they think, oh, you guys are the weird ones, but you guys are like, no,
just promise me one thing.
Something's wrong. like you don't know. And I think going back to Joker, when he's in the scenes where he's in at his work, like the locker room, where even his boss is like, yeah, everyone thinks you're weird. Everyone like
Thinks you're a freak.
yeah.
Yeah.
But even his boss gave him chances. Was like, hey, this keeps happening. I can't let you keep doing this.
Yeah.
But and that's before he fires him, because he's like, I'll give you more chances, but come on, man. Like, I can
Like,
only
what's
do
going
this so
on?
much.
Yeah.
Like, you need to get help. You need to get help. And that's when he's like, you can tell he's upset and he's like smiling, but he's just like,
And he goes to kick the shit out of the dumpster.
yeah, because he's trying to release it. Because I think it's the same day he finds out that he doesn't have help anymore. The services are
Yeah.
dead.
Something.
And,
Services are cut.
and that's when his boss is like, you need to find help, and he's just like,
I can't.
I tried.
I was.
Like, because even as his therapist, he's like, how do I get my medication now? And
She didn't answer him.
yeah,
And she literally had no answer for him. Like, oh, that's on
And
your
that's
own.
and that's the reality that some people face.
and it's not her, and that's where I'm like, part of it's not her fault. Like,
But she also didn't give a shit.
Yeah, she also didn't
No,
give a
but-
shit.
Clearly
It was
did
quite
not give a
apparent.
shit.
but at least with that, she didn't have an answer.
Right.
Like, they probably just told her, yeah, there's nothing they can do, and she was
But
probably
in
like,
reality, look at it. No one has a real answer, because that shit does happen. That shit just happen not just for medical services, for schools, for all that shit. It just happens, but no one has an answer for it. You can ask anybody, any teacher, any administrator, any politician, any therapist, any doctor. No one knows. Everyone's like,
Because
I think-
politicians are lining their pockets
Yeah.
with the funding that we could be using to fund this
I mean, the
shit.
best advice really is just to get help. Like, if you
How
know
do
something.
How do you get help when there's no help offered?
even if
Well, I'm
even
talking
if you
about, like,
can't-
I'm not talking about Joker's case. I mean, like, in our society where there is, you can't go and get help.
You know
It doesn't
how
always
expensive
work,
that
but-
is,
that's
though?
easier
I
said
get
than
that,
done.
but I get that.
I think what Dan means is instead of go look for help any way you can, even if it's not with a professional. At least your friends, your family. Talk to them, even if at some point you're ridiculed. At least you're trying to do something to progress in something.
Yeah.
Because going back to what Tyler was saying about his mental health issue, and again, I'm sorry I'm making this public, but you brought
Yeah,
it
I
up
already
too as
did.
well. You know, even though it took us to kind of reach out to you a little bit more, like, we're there for you. We might not be there for you all the time, or as much as you'd like us to, or whatever, or too much, but we're there.
I'd
No.
rather smother you than not.
Yeah, I'd rather you fucking
No,
hate me for
it's-
being up in your grill than fucking you be gone.
There, I can understand when maybe I had a different perspective watching the movie. I had sympathy for the guy, but I'm like, is this also a Joker movie? Like, come on, it's Joker.
Yeah.
But like, in a way, I could understand how he got there. Not saying it's right, but I was like,
Right.
yeah, like because
I mean, he just had so many bad things happen in his life,
Over and
day
over
after
and
day
over.
after day after day.
Where-
Like, he didn't have the mental capacity to, like, withstand that and come out fine. Like, he snapped and just
And some
Especially
people
when he
Wait,
learns
finally
stuff about his
caved
mother.
in.
exactly,
the way I describe it is a
exactly.
wall. Like everybody has, well, most people
We all have a
in the
limit.
study, they have this wall. It's the morality wall. Well, eventually, like, I think people, like, I know for myself, it's like, I can see over it sometimes. Where it's like, maybe I want to go over there. I don't want to go over there, but it's like, oh, like,
It's so easy.
it's like, oh, there's a ladder right here. I could walk right over it. It's
Yeah.
fine. I don't care. Like, part of me does, but other times where when things get bad,
I think
Part of
it's
me
it's like your wall can change too. Like, if you're talking about it in the way that you are,
Sorry.
one
My cat is trying to hump a serial killer cat and is having an issue, and he's going to get his ass kicked.
No, he's not trying to.
but I'm saying even your own wall can, like, change hour to hour, minute to minute. Like,
Right.
you could be having a good day, like, mental health wise, where you're in a good mood, you're happy, you're positive. You look at that wall and it's 40 feet tall, impenetrable, and you're like, oh, I'm safe. Like, there's no way I can go over that side. And then other days when you're having a shitty day, you get broken up with, you lose your job, family member's sick, your dog dies, all these horrible things, and all of a sudden you look and that it's a fucking knee-high wall, and you can just step right over it.
Right.
And you have to like hold yourself back from doing those things.
And
it's not
knee high.
It'll be
Yeah.
No, I was saying minute to minute. Like, it could be.
The way you guys represent it as a wall.
Like, every person with mental health issues is going to do equal shit. No, it's like,
and it's not even mental health or
I
not.
don't have to. It's like, everyone wants me to be okay. Like at a certain point, you're like, no, I don't want to be okay anymore. I'm gonna live.
I'm done.
I'm gonna live with my mind, and if
and the thing is,
good or bad.
And the thing is that I think that like you guys put it as a wall. I've always seen it as a line, as a straight line that tells you, hey, you're not supposed to go here. You step over that line, the line moves for you. I feel like the line moves for you, and then you see it, and you're just like, well, if I just do this one thing, that's not bad, right? And it's bending your morality line. Mm-hmm. So your morality line moves, and you're like, well, this is okay. And then it moves a little bit more. And then it moves a little bit more. And
as
then
soon
all
as you do one of those things that used to be taboo, like let's say, you never used to fucking swear, or you never used to do drugs or something. As soon as you do a couple of those, you're like, oh, okay, this isn't bad. You get those become not taboo anymore. They become like a hobby or the regular thing.
Yeah, or like a recreational thing where
your line keeps getting moved further and further down. You know, not saying that people can't control themselves.
Of course,
people can. You know, we all have our vices and things that we do that we shouldn't, but we're for the most part and under control for it. But
you have to.
Other people, some people can't. And some people, and you might not even know that you can't until it's too late.
Right. Exactly. And if you're a person like that who has trouble finding out until it's too late, then yes, you definitely need help. Everybody needs help to find that line and where that line stops moving, or where you stop stepping over that line. But at the same time, it's like what Tyler said. You have that choice to make that first step. It's all on you. Mm-hmm. Whether you have mental health issues, whether you don't, it's your choice.
But with the mental health issues, with that stuff, it's very, very variable.
Yeah.
Because with certain people, they're so gone, they don't even see it as a problem. Like, oh no, like you hear parents. Like, oh, like you see, like, like this lady drowned her kids in the bathtub. Why? She thought she was saving them from demons or something. Like,
yeah.
And it's like, is that evil? I wouldn't call that evil. I call that person needed help, and somewhere along the way they didn't get it. It's not evil.
Yeah.
And they
like, and if someone like, and I've heard of cases. Of where people were fine. They weren't fine, but everyone was like, no, we've never had any problems
with her, with them,
they were
whatever.
depressed, but no violent episodes, no nothing. Like, all of a sudden, he's like gone out and done something horrible, and they're like, it wasn't that we weren't paying attention, is that there was no signs. They were fine. Like,
and then it goes back to the debate, circles back again. Were there signs or were there no signs, or did you just not choose to pay attention to the signs?
Oh, I'm talking
most of the time, people don't pay attention to the signs until it's too late.
I'm not saying that, but there is some cases where the person has put on such a good mask.
Oh yeah,
like that's how they have always been, and so you don't even recognize it as a sign.
Yeah, they're like they get up in the morning and they're playing a character. It's no longer them. They're playing their character.
Or they just keep pushing shit down, not letting it surface, and then all of a sudden it finally surfaces, and they have no control of what they do, and they do something horrible.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then even after they do it, they are like, I can't believe I just did that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
no, I have just personally. Sorry to cut you off.
No,
I have times where, if you guys know this, like if you ask me when I have one of my like OCD stuff, anxiety stuff, it's like, what are you doing? Like, I don't know. But it makes it better. And it's like, no, it doesn't. You know it doesn't. I'm like, I know it doesn't make it better, but it makes it better. And you guys like,
yeah,
what are you talking about?
And it doesn't make sense, but it does.
To me, it makes sense. You guys are like, what are you doing? Like, it's not that I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go, I'm gonna go fixate on this, or I'm gonna go do that. It's like, no, I didn't mean for it to happen. It just happens.
Right.
I don't, or like, oh, why are you sad? I don't know.
Well, it's like for me in certain cases, a lot of people have told me, you always have a choice in being the way you are, saying things you say. You have to think about it. because you got to think about it. Yeah, while some of the stuff I do think about before I say it, and either I'll do it as a kick for myself or I'll do it to be malicious, to be an asshole. There's certain times where I'll say things and I'm just like, oh, I didn't realize that I said that.
Well, that's everyone. That's I think that's normal.
No, but that's
because
part of
I'm
the
out-
but that's part of the condition that I have personally, where there's certain things that I'll say something very, very mean, very, very personal, and very something that I shouldn't say. That's not appropriate to say in any circumstance, and I'll say it, and I'm just like, maybe I should have said that.
Oh, and
That's bad.
I did want to just say this conversation we're having right now is because of a comic book movie. So don't ever fucking tell me that
Shots
they
at Scorsese over here.
that they don't bring out like, oh, it's not cinema. No, was it playing in a theater? Guess what? Fucking cinema. Was it good cinema? Yeah, but every movie that's shown in a theater it counts as cinema. Whether it's good or bad, that's debatable. That's the one thing. But anyway, no, I mean, like, we're having this debate about a comic book movie, which is cool. I would like to get us back on Joker.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
like,
I was just about to do that, but it's like you guys were saying, like when you do these things, like you were saying, Sean, yourself, like you feel bad about doing it, even though like I said, I've had moments, where I'm a bottle up kind of person, and sometimes I'll get,
right?
sometimes I'll get overly mad. About
Them
things.
fucking
And,
paper cups and paper fucking plates, poor fucking casualties of war.
yeah, but
Where's phone
Joker's
during baseball
case.
season?
Joker's case, like when he killed those people, he didn't have really any remorse.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
when it was
perfect
happening,
thing,
he was having like a breakdown because he was like laughing, crying at the same time.
Well,
but
he's
like
laughing probably because of his
he,
condition.
yeah, and then like when he was at the end or towards the end, when he was on the talk show talking about how he killed those people, he didn't show remorse. He didn't say he was sorry for doing it. Like he was glad that he killed them. Like
He literally said, "I'm tired of
flat
having
out-
to pretend that I felt bad
Yeah.
for killing them."
Yeah, he flat out said like, no, I don't feel bad for doing it.
He thought it was funny.
And what
when he
he's
went on
and
the
what he's
show.
and what he said to his mom when he was in the hospital. Oh yeah, people always told you that there's something wrong with me because I laugh. There's nothing wrong with me. That's just how I am. I just think it's funny.
Mhm.
And that shows the last little frayed wires that are coming apart
See,
from that fucking line.
I think when he did it, he felt bad, and because when he was running away, I think that's when he felt bad. But it wasn't long enough for him to actually feel bad, because then what happens? He starts dancing, because I think that's the first time in his life probably he felt in control of anything,
Mhm.
Not
or
just that.
anyone being.
He felt free.
Horrible.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. That's what I was gonna
He
say.
finally got
free.
Yeah, he was finally able to fight back once. Yeah, he did something horrible, but he was like, I did it.
But, like,
and then that's why he's
the biggest
and then
clue-
he didn't feel bad because he's like, he felt so good that he was able to do it, and he was like, oh, I don't have to feel bad.
But the
Alright,
biggest
I'm not
but the
going
biggest
to.
clue with that of what Dan's saying is when you see him get jumped by those kids, and then he goes to his boss. He goes, they're kids. He goes, I should have let it go. It means that this is not the first time it's happened. It's happened the same
Yeah.
more and more times with those same kids until he realized those Wall Street guys after he killed them, they're not coming back. It's done. My problem's over with them. And that's how he started seeing it
Yeah,
as an
he was
outlet.
trying to be a good person. He was trying to be like, oh, they're kids, like, and he said, oh, the kid stole my sign, and he's like, oh, come on, no one does that. And he was just like, all right, I'll bite the bullet instead of trying to find this kid. I'll eat it, So he was trying to be a good dude, but everything kept pushing him. But also he kept pushing everything himself. He made a bad situation way worse.
Wait, yeah.
Like that's where I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
everyone wants to have sympathy for the Joker. I'm like, yes and very much no.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
Like-
we're saying like a lot of bad shit happened to him, but that it's not reason to do these things. Like
Joker is a psychopath.
We're not excusing his actions
Right.
based on his circumstances. We're just saying he had shitty circumstances, but he chose
He
horrible
chose to go that
actions.
Yeah,
To
we're,
deal
we're
with
trying to say, hey, we're not gonna be like, oh.
We're showing you how the
Yes,
movie is making you feel. How the movie makes you feel.
Yeah, it's trying
The
to-
movie makes you feel bad for him,
It's
and then it kind of shows you that, hey, wait a minute, he's still deranged.
monster.
He's still a fucking monster. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the point of that. Like, even though we're saying like all this bad stuff, like Dan said that happened to him, whatever, he's a monster. He's based off a character. He's a character that was created to show complete chaos in the world.
Mm.
Someone that didn't give a shit. Someone who's completely out of touch with reality, because that's what the Joker is. He's out of touch with reality.
And throughout the whole movie too, like from start to finish, there were a lot of the movie was like uncomfortable.
Yeah,
I think they intended it to be that way to like make you feel uneasy, uncomfortable. Like just looking at him,
You're feeling what he's feeling.
Yeah,
He's uncomfortable.
you see him the way he does things. It's just awkward and weird, and like you just feel unsettled a lot of the time. And that kind of gives you like like how they're trying to portray him as this weird animosity kind of figure of
and I did
all
like
this
that
weird shit. But
he sees the Joker part. I liked is even before he is at the end where he's that he doesn't even care about his name anymore because he even says I never liked that name. But I like that throughout the movie they have Joaquin Phoenix. They have him play like even the guy. They have him play like he's on a stage at all times.
Mm-hmm.
Like he plays that he's on a stage, but nobody else is.
Yeah.
Because he's so out
of reality.
Yeah, well, he's so awkward that he's
like practicing how to act normal in a sense too.
Yeah.
But a lot of like when he was in his room and he was practicing to go on the show, he was sitting there like practicing how he wants to sit, how he wants to come out, how he wants to talk, jokes he wants to say.
I didn't think that was that unrealistic because I think people.
But like he does that. He does that a lot of
like,
times. Like when he, like you were saying,
do
he'll
it for
just
interviews.
yeah, because he's like a stand-up. He wants to be a stand-up comedian and all that thing. But when he gets out there, he's like very awkward and he can't control his laughter and like his set was bad. So I feel like he's just always trying to work on those things where he can just keep rehearsing how to act normally when he's in private, and hopefully he can do it, when he's out in front of a stage. But another thing too is that kind of set showed like that he's just off is when he was like painting his face and he was painting like under his lips and like he was licking the brush, he was painting his tongue, like all those like weird little things are like, okay, this guy is just not all there. Like,
yeah.
What about the first scene? I think we all forgot it.
when he made himself smile.
No, not when he made himself smile. Right before that.
He was
fucking
crying.
tear. Yeah, because he has it all painted, and he's like, I did it, and then and he's still like working on it, and he starts crying,
And
like smearing the
yeah, like he can't. He tries to be okay, but it leaks out.
Yeah.
I know that's like, oh, you're making an allegory. No. It just, I didn't have better words.
No,
Like,
it's true. It's true, and I feel like that's how a lot of people in life feel. Being stuck in a shitty job, being stuck in everything. Because I feel like that sometimes. I'll just be sitting there and I'm just like, okay, smile, get through the day, and all of a sudden you just can't help like the real feelings to come out. You just can't help the sadness. You just can't help the anger or the frustration, and it just leaks out. As Tyler said, there's times where, there's times where people you even see people like walking by, and you see them and they're like, something's wrong with them, and they smile at you and they're like, hey, how's it going? How have you been? Have a good day. And you walk back and then the smile goes, like, fuck, my life sucks right now. There's a lot of people that I've encountered that are like that. They come to get their coffee and they're like, hey, what's going on? You're always so positive. And then like I look at their eyes and they're like all fucking red and they're fucking like super swollen. They've been crying the whole time that they've been in their car. Their whole commute was a cry. That's terrifying to see people.
Yeah,
like
I mean,
that.
we all go through shit. Like, we're all human. Life sucks a lot of the times, but you have to find things to be happy about. And
what the whole thing is just what you said. That's what the whole movie is. Do you? Do you have to? He didn't want to anymore, so he didn't. I'm not saying it's right. He just that's his whole anything. Like he's just like, I'm tired of living. I'm tired of living the existence you all want me to live. So I'm gonna live my way.
And it kind of shows, even though it's showing the bad things that happen, it's, how do I put this without getting so much flack? Hang on. It's not so much about, I'm gonna sound like a piece of shit human no matter what. It's not so much about the fact of whether he did something bad or not. The message is not all the way bad. The message is not all the way bad.
no, because I think they were showing, like I said, they shined a light on a really important topic that I feel gets pushed under the rug and not talked about enough.
True, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about what Tyler said. Why should we pretend? Why should we genuinely have to pretend who we are? Why don't we just say or do what we feel? Your boss pisses you off, tell him that you're pissed off. Tell him that you fucking hate it.
Because that's just not the world we live in, bro.
I know.
You do that shit, you get fired.
Exactly. I understand that. I understand that that's not the world we live in, but
he, like I said, he went over the wall. Like,
yeah.
And he's like, oh, I don't care anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I with Joker, I want to keep going through the scenes, if that's okay with you.
Yeah,
guys.
no.
Like
Keep going.
he
I'm just adding my
he
little
starts
side
off,
commentary.
You kind of we'll start off with the beginning where he's painting his face and he's crying. Well, he doesn't even cry. It's like one, and he's like, oh, and then
It was just like
laughing.
you said. You didn't even realize that you were crying. I'm sure he didn't either.
And then he starts laughing, and you're like, oh, that's weird. Because at first you're like, shit, that's his laugh. That's the last laugh he gave Joker. Really? Oh, come on. And then when he's like, after his day, kids steal a sign. One kid fucking hits him with that. They're running. He's chasing them. Kid hits him with it. They beat the shit out of him, and he just lays there. Like, he doesn't like try and get up right away. He just lays there, and he's just like, and then you see him like, I think part of it in the performance, he's trying not to cry, laugh, because he's in pain, but he's like, it looked like he was holding in the laugh because it would just be like just an extra like thanks if he starts laughing at himself.
Yeah.
Because he can't stop. And then he goes to his therapist, right?
Yeah, he
she
goes to
talks
his therapist
him,
right afterwards.
and then he's on the bus. He tries to make the kid laugh. He actually does it. That's the thing. He does it, and the kid really liked him. And then his mom is like, "Fuck off,
Fucking fat whale bitch.
Like,
Stop bugging my kid," or something, whatever she said.
And those are people who
he
have no
starts
enjoyment in
laughing.
their life anymore,
And
dude.
he starts laughing. Well, it is Gotham, and I do want to get to that, but he starts laughing, and she's like, "What the like? Oh, good."
Really?
And
Gives her-
and then she's like, "Oh, I was right."
Yeah,
Like,
gives her his card saying, "Hey, I laugh uncontrollably. You know, it's a condition. Blah blah." She looks at the card weird and just like, all right, whatever.
and then he.
Are you sure that was Gotham? That looked a lot like LA to me.
Well, Gotham. It's in comic.
It was a
books, I
joke.
think.
It was a joke.
I know, but because I was went on a tangent and explaining where everything was. But what happens next? I'm missing the part. Right after that.
I just saw it once. I can't tell you scene for scene. I kind of know general what happened, but I can't remember like scene for scene.
He goes to his house. His mom.
Yeah, you
And
see
his mom-
that
'cause
long
whenever
ass
he gets-
walk.
He tries to get the mail, and it's empty. Like it's always empty. And she asks about like, oh, did he write back? And he's like, no.
Why would he?
Like,
Yeah.
and she's like, oh, he's a great man. He's like, okay. And then he goes back to work, and then he's like suiting up to be a clown again. And his friend gives him a gun. He's like, I can't have this. Like he doesn't. It's not like, oh, I want this. I'm like, sweet, I can get.
He knows in his mental state he shouldn't have access to a gun.
Yeah, he tries to be a good dude, and he meets. We see.
I don't even think he was aware of his
Straight,
mental
we see-
status at that point. I don't even think he was really aware of that. That the reason that he couldn't
He
have
just
the
didn't
gun.
want the gun.
I don't think he just wanted the gun because.
Well, he said he's like, I can't have that. Like, at
Well,
least
I
to
think
me, it
was
seemed
just
like it
'cause
was.
the clowns.
Yeah, I think it was the
Boss
clown
fired.
thing.
Oh, maybe I don't know.
Because that's why his boss freaked out so much. He's like, you know, you're not supposed to have that. It's like,
Well,
maybe
and-
that's why.
and, but that you do meet his other friend. He's a little person, and everyone else is ragging on him. And you see Arthur. That, by the way, his name is Arthur Fleck. And if you take away the rest of his name, you just have the first letter of his first name. With the last name, it's Affleck.
Ben Affleck
But
confirmed.
Matt Damon. Sorry, but you see him, and he like is walking out to go meet his boss after he's gotten the crap kicked out of him, and he's trying not to laugh. It's one of the first times you see where he's trying not to laugh, because you can see on his face he's like sad, but he's laughing. He laughs all the way down the hall because I think he genuinely feels bad for the guy. He doesn't want to laugh at him. He just can't not do it. And that's when you see,
Yeah, because they said, "Oh, I've always wanted to ask you this question. When you guys play mini golf, is it mini golf or is it just you just call it golf? And he's like, oh, he just keeps laughing. But
And I think everyone in the theater, a lot of us were laughing, and then we're like, oh, like that's not, not like, oh, it's not cool, it's not fair, but we were just like, oh, wait, no, I actually feel bad. I don't, like, at least that was me. Where I was,
I'm
at
sorry,
that
I wasn't
point,
laughing.
No, I just felt bad when I was like, kind of leave him alone. Like, I don't know, it just seems like where they were at, everybody in Gotham, except for the really rich, has a shit life.
Yeah, they all had a shit life.
But,
As I said, are you sure that wasn't L.A.? I'm seeing a lot of similarities there.
no, but, what happens next? Because I'm missing a scene. Because
Yeah, you're
Tom
missing a
Cruise-
huge scene.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't need to go. We don't need to like. We have
Spell out the
spoilers
movie,
and
that's
and
why,
necessary.
yeah.
We don't have to like reenact the whole movie
Yeah.
for the listeners. But I had one thing though that I wanted to bring up because I thought it was kind of interesting when it happened, and then even though it got kind of like disproved, I was still kind of like, oh, that would be interesting. Like when he found the letter from his mom
The Thomas
saying,
Wayne.
yeah, to Thomas Wayne saying that, oh, the Joker, Arthur is their son, like he had an affair with her, and he's his son, and they needed help and all this and that. Like when he found that, I was like, oh shit, like they're doing a little bit different spin where the Joker is actually related to Thomas Wayne,
One of the theories
his son.
that they have out there.
Yeah, even though it got later disproved that she was a nutcase and he was adopted, and
Yeah, so
she just
wasn't
made
even
up
her
that
kid.
story. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like I just thought that was like an interesting
Mm-hmm.
because that way like if they went with that scenario and like it would give him reason to like not like Thomas Wayne if that was his dad and he just like outcast him, and then that would also tie in Bruce as well. It could connect Bruce and the Joker as well. But
But I don't
I
think
just
the
thought it was
Joker
interesting.
ever had a problem with Thomas Wayne in any of the comics or anything like that. I don't think he
No.
actually had a problem with him. He didn't give a shit about him.
No.
he did in this movie though.
Oh, in this
Well, yeah.
movie, yeah.
But-
I do want to say I like how they played Bruce. Like, no normal kid would go up to some random dude at the gate, most likely, and let him do all that. Like, a little bit, yeah, but wouldn't let him touch him and stuff. Like, I don't think so. Because he was old enough to where he'd be like, whoa. Like, if he was younger, yes. But he was old enough, but I think they played it really well where he's so out of touch with everyone. Like, he lives a very sheltered life, and I like that because when his parents died, that's what lets him die. He's dead at that point.
Yeah.
Because the real world crept in.
Mhm.
That's the first time the real world crept in, and he didn't know how to handle it, so he shut himself off and created someone else. That's how you have a Batman. I like that because it's like, oh, okay.
Because
Do I-
because
do I
in depth you look at
necessarily
it.
like that it was Joker's fault.
Yeah.
No, I don't know how they're going to do it if they kept Joaquin Phoenix. He's like 30 and Bruce is like 8. But
He wasn't 8. He was probably like 12. Like probably 12, 13.
But no, he was
He's
not.
probably like 10, 11.
Yeah,
I think.
no.
I don't know. I
no,
could say
he
12.
was like
I would
10.
say 12.
He was still playing on like a jungle gym thing.
Yeah.
Like, he was,
I thought he was.
He had his
I
own
thought he was
little
just
fort.
standing in a
No,
gazebo.
no, that was a little fort.
Oh, it was a little
he
fort.
slid
Yeah.
down. He slid down
He
a
had a
little
rich
yeah,
fire
that's right.
pole.
built fort. Like,
It looked like a gazebo, but
Yeah,
it
it did look like a gazebo. Fucking all
because
that.
it was
money.
made out of like mahogany
Yeah.
and oak.
yeah, no, he
all these
had-
hardy ass woods.
No, but like I like that he was. I thought that was really interesting that he's so out. He was so out of touch where he let some random dude
Fucking
put
touch
his
him.
fingers in his mouth,
Yeah,
like,
dude.
and make him smile, because he was just like he was enamored with like, oh, look at that.
But going back-
Because all his life, like he's never known to be like weary of other people because they're
we
always
don't know that, but
they're
now
always right. Yeah, but just under that guise of he's wealthy, he's rich, he's sheltered. Like the only people he's ever interacted with are his family, his butlers, his servants, who are all trustworthy people. He goes to
And they
high
work
end
for him.
anytime
Like,
he
what is
goes
he gonna
out.
do?
He goes to a high end school. All these.
Yeah.
He never deals with like the slum people kind of thing. So he doesn't expect anybody to be weird or do anything they're not supposed to. So he's just like, oh, okay, like gave him the fake flowers and all this stuff. Like he's like, oh, this is normal. This
It's
is
not even Bruce being like, oh, I'm the rich guy, I'm this. No, he just doesn't know.
They even
Like that's how the actor plays it, because like, not that Bruce isn't stupid, he just didn't know.
yeah.
just
like,
naive. Yeah.
Yeah, because
I think it's funny how they even changed how. Well, maybe not so much in the comic book, but I was so used to seeing like a lot of the like I didn't okay. How do I explain this? The Christian Bale version of Thomas Wayne made him like a really good guy. Like made him seem like a really really nice guy. You know, he rode that subway in that scene where he's explaining to Bruce, you know, I had all the subway reroute to the Wayne Tower, you know, or the Wayne Tower, so that way it gives people like a symbol of hope that we're here for them and everything like that. Like it made him nice, and then this one he's kind of a dick, like he's a douche. You're just like, wow, what a fuck.
Yeah, but you don't. The difference is though in the Christian Bale version,
you don't get a lot of it.
You have Thomas Wayne interacting with Bruce, so of course he's gonna be nice.
Yeah.
In this version, you have Thomas Wayne interacting with some crazy person who's in the bathroom saying that he's his dad, who showed up at his house and touched his kid. Like you can see that you know maybe Thomas is generally a nice guy, but under those circumstances, you're not going to be nice to that kind of person.
But they did. I think I know what Sean was.
They made him douchey because even when he's going to die in the Christian Bale,
in the news reports, he's like
calls people clowns.
Yeah,
but because if you see in the Christian Bale version, when he's about to die, when he's about to get shot, he's telling the guy, "Hey, this isn't going to solve your problems. Let's talk about it." Like he's almost trying to calm him down while there's a guy pointing a gun at your face. I'm more afraid of the gun than I'm afraid of the maniac who approaches me in the bathroom and tells me I'm his dad. I'm more afraid of the guy with the fucking gun. But I would have reacted poorly to the guy with the gun and reacted more sympathy to the other guy.
But we don't know the backstory of Thomas Wayne. Not even
true.
Thomas
But
Wayne.
The difference.
How do you know that's the first time? Maybe he's so used to being in Gotham that's just normal to him. Not normal, but he knows how to handle it, and he's like, "Oh, I have wealth. I can buy all these pearls and shit again. I don't care about. I can buy all this stuff again.
Right.
This person needs help. He's not going to hurt us. He's just hungry or sad."
I would counter what you were saying about. I feel like it would be the opposite if some crazy meth head looking person or druggie whatever approaches you in the bathroom and stuff like that. Like you're not going to be threatened by them, so you're going to feel more. You're gonna feel more confident in being like, no, fuck you, like because you're not threatened in that. Yeah, if somebody's pointing a gun at you, you're not the big boy in the room anymore.
Yeah, you're gonna be
like, oh, I'm sorry, like you know. I mean, me personally, that's how I'd feel. Like,
it's like be cool, bro, be cool, be cool.
You know, but
you know what? I wasn't thinking about it that way. Now that you brought it out, yeah, you're right.
Because he's not gonna be. He's not threatened by the Joker in that scenario because he's got 6 inches on him and a lot of weight on him, at least in this depiction. Like, the Joker's scrawny little guy.
And frail.
And Thomas Wayne is pretty big, and it looks like he could probably handle himself.
He looked like he just got out of Hawaii with that fucking...
Yeah, he's not going to be... He's not going to be, you know, he's the one dominating in that. He's not afraid of the Joker. So.
Right. No, I guess that makes sense. That part makes sense. Now that you brought it out, I guess that ties in everything more a little bit, and it shows why maybe Bruce. Maybe Thomas Wayne was acting more like a dick in this one because he wasn't threatened, as opposed to the other one.
It's also what he says in the bathroom. He doesn't immediately go, "Oh, you touched my kid. You were at my house." He goes, "If you touch my kid again, I will kill you." He doesn't do it right away. As he's walking.
Yeah,
after he punches him in the face and he's walking away, he's like, "Touch my kid, I'll fucking kill you."
Yeah, but when he's approached first, he's like, "Hey, can I help you, bud?" Like
he's won an autograph. Do you
want an autograph?
He's probably had so many people be like, now that he's running for mayor, like,
"Can I have your autograph?" And he's like, "Oh yeah."
Like he probably just thinks he's weird. He's just like, okay, just a weird guy, like
whatever.
And then he starts telling him all these things, like, "Oh, I know who you are. You're the guy that showed up at my house yesterday and touched my kid."
And even when he tells him that he's adopted, and he's like, "Why would you fucking tell me lies?" And the Joker's like getting all crazy. Thomas is like, "Oh fuck, she didn't even tell you." Like he almost feels bad for her. He's like,
well, at first he seems damn like, oh, like you're doing
bringing this shit up
again.
Then
he realizes, he goes,
she never even bothered to fucking tell you.
But he had that face of like, oh god, she never told you, like, all right, like.
And then he tried to explain, and then Joker got more mad, and that's when he punched him, and he was like, "Hey, touch my kid again, I'll fucking kill you."
But I did like how I was talking about it to Courtney when we were driving back, about how they made it, how the Joker sort of inadvertently killed Thomas Wayne because of like him inciting everything, him stirring things up, him saying before, you know, on national TV saying, "Oh, I don't like Thomas Wayne, bad mouthing him. I feel like it gave all those people, you know what? Yeah, fuck him. Like this guy's killed people and admitted it. He shot this famous, night show host on live TV. So like
that was fucking insane.
All these people in the clown mask, they see Thomas and Martha and Bruce walk out of the theater, and one of them is like, you know what? Fuck yeah, I'll do it. Like they got like their motivation. So I kind of like that in the sense because now if this is just a standalone movie, then it doesn't really have any repercussions down the line. But just even as it stands, you can be like, oh, this is why Batman can have a huge gripe with the Joker is if he connects the two. Yeah, if he finds out, oh, you were behind my parents' murder in a sense. You didn't pull the trigger, but you incited the violence against my father. You incited all this stuff to happen.
You created the chaos.
Yeah, so it kind of draws them together through that.
I sincerely hope this is not just some standalone movie. I hope this is the beginning to the age of Joaquin Phoenix as Joker and Robert Pattinson as Batman. We just got to see how Robert Pattinson's going to do as Batman to see if he's going to be good or not. But I really hope this is not a standalone movie. I really hope that Hollywood or whatever, the critics or whoever's in charge of bullshit realizes that maybe Jared Leto's not the way to go about this Joker. Maybe it's better if we just let Joaquin Phoenix handle this shit.
I mean, yeah.
Sit this one out, boy.
From what we've been shown, Joaquin did a better job, but I still feel like I appreciate Jared Leto's acting. If you watch him in other roles, he does a really good job.
Yeah,
he's a very good method actor. He really gets into his roles. I just felt like he was kind of set up to fail with Suicide Squad.
Yeah, I don't think it was his
fault. I feel like he was a shitty rote character. Like it didn't vibe with a lot of people. It didn't make sense to a lot of people. So
shitty scenes.
I don't necessarily take that out on Jared because I think he's a great actor.
Yeah,
but
he's good. He's actually really good.
I wouldn't mind if this is a standalone. I think it held up on its own. Like it could just be a one and done and be like, oh, that was cool. But I would also think it would be cool if they brought him back, like in one of the Batman movies. Have him be the main, and have him be Joker again. Have him be escaping from Arkham Asylum or whatever the hell he's doing, and I'd be okay with that too.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I could see him as that. I would say if you're going to cast Jared Leto as another part of Batman, and you don't want him to be the Joker again, I would say the Riddler. I would say I could see him as a Riddler. I could see him probably as a better Riddler than a Joker.
Yeah, he could be Two-Face. He could be Two-Face too, I think. He could do a good...
Two-Face? Well,
I don't know, I could see him.
If it's Batman year one, he could be a Two-Face. If it's an older Batman, no.
Yeah.
Jared's like in his 40s, dude.
Yeah, but he looks way too youthful.
Yeah, but I mean, makeup, cosmetics, they can make him look...
True.
Plus, it's fine. He could be... Like, if they have Bruce in his 30s, he'd pass for 30 anyway.
True.
It wouldn't matter.
True. I going back to Jared Leto's acting, that movie that he does with Nicolas Cage, what is it? Lords of War?
Lords of War?
Oh.
Lords of War, yeah. He did a great job in that one. I was very impressed with that one. That one was a good movie.
Yeah. Dallas Buyers Club.
Yeah.
He did a really great job in that. I don't know if you've seen that. He played like a HIV positive, like, gay person.
Yeah. I didn't see all of it. I kind of saw parts of it. I like Matthew McConaughey's acting in that one. It was really good, but I didn't really... I skipped around too much on that one. It just didn't really catch my attention too much. But also, I was a lot younger when I saw that movie, so I took a lot of things for granted and was naive about a lot of shit. But I don't know. I think Riddler would be a good one for him. I think they should stick with Joaquin Phoenix as a Joker. Even though he's older, it never really displays his age, so we don't know if he's really old or if he just had a hard life, like Mr. Tyler over here, looking so full of wisdom. Mr. Gintech looking like a whole 30 and a half years old.
On our mental health podcast awareness, here you are.
Like, hey man,
still calling
about shit. Like, thanks.
You look like how I feel right now.
Well,
we basically just had a huge PSA on mental health, and
here
we go.
Here we go. Sean starts making fun of Tyler.
I like just going back to the Joker thing. I do like how they portray Gotham.
Yeah,
it's that it makes sense
gritty
that there's they would allow a man in a bat suit to run around because they're like, we have nothing else. Like the cops yeah, they try some of them,
But there are a
even
lot
in
of
the
them are
comics,
corrupt.
A lot of them, they're all corrupt. They're pretty much Jim Gordon, Batman. That's it. Like everyone else is like, yeah, we're gonna go save the day. Yeah, I'm gonna take money from the mob, but
And then Wilson Fisk walks in and is like,
Yeah.
yeah, fuck all you guys.
Yeah.
even
I owe you.
That's Marvel. But thank you.
Yeah.
Or fuck.
Completely different world.
Fuck, you know what I'm talking
You're
about.
talking about like Black Mask,
No, I meant, what's his name?
Lex
The
Luthor.
Italian guy. No. The fucking Italian mobster that owns Gotham.
Which one?
Oh,
Fucking,
Corelli.
no, not Corelli.
The fat
fucking-
one that's with the Scarecrow in the Christian Bale version where he's like, oh, Doc
That's not-
can't sleep.
No,
blah, blah, blah.
Falcone.
Falcone,
I
not
was thinking,
Corelli.
Corelli.
sorry.
Falcone.
I mixed up
sorry.
Fisk with Falcone. Forgive me.
That's what I meant. I meant Falcone, not
That's-
Corelli.
I do like that they
Corelli.
don't. That's I just thought of that. They don't have any of that in Joker.
What?
There's no. I mean, there's probably mobs and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff, but he's not linked to any of that. I
Yeah, no.
like that. It's not has nothing to do with it. That's what
And that's kind of the
I was
resurgence.
worried about this movie. I really was because I was like, oh, I wasn't worried about Joaquin Phoenix.
No.
I was worried that they were going to play a Joker where he's already the Joker. They kind of do, but he's still. Is he messed up? Yeah.
That's like Joker Year One.
Yeah. Well, yes. But, like, I was worried that they were going to have a Joker where he's just a good dude, la la la, and make him sympathetic, like, oh, he's fine, and all of a sudden, bad of acid, or he's not even remotely messed up, and all of a sudden he is.
Sorry about that, guys.
He's gonna rip your beard out, dude.
One of my little kitties is playing with Tyler's beard.
It's okay.
Leave him alone.
She's fine. Hi.
She's like walking through a car wash with his beard.
No, I did like that too. I liked the slow descent into madness. It didn't just happen, like you said, vat of acid or some weird
Actually,
bullshit.
I'm okay with vat of acid, by the way, as long as they explain it. But that's what I was worried about. That they were just be like, the beginning of the movie, he's running down the freaking catwalk, and Batman's chasing him, and he's the Red Hood, and then he falls in, and the rest of the movie is like, oh, cool, another 2 hours of
Him just doing shit.
yeah, and, well, not just doing it, but like, I was worried that they were gonna make it not cartoony, but ridiculous. Where it's like, oh,
Yeah.
cool, like you're doing this kind of Joker, like, giant penny, like, which I would love a callback for, but like, do you guys?
Yeah,
did I
yeah.
explain it? I don't think I've explained it.
No. I think you're explaining it fine. They didn't make it ridiculous. They made it believable, like in this world.
I thought just him. I thought he was going to be in a believable world, but be ridiculous and not in the Joker way, but being like, we're trying to be the Joker, like Jared Leto does in Suicide Squad.
Yeah,
And I don't think necessarily
it's a normal
his
world,
fault.
and he's over
And
like
it's
cranked
just like-
10.
It's like, dude, like that's not how a Joker would be in the real world.
Right.
He'd be like Heath Ledger, where he just doesn't give a shit. He wouldn't be. Yeah, he might be riding around in a purple Lamborghini, but he wouldn't be riding around there long.
Yeah,
Like someone would be after him. Like
Yeah. He's the one that would just fucking let the car keep running, fucking
yeah,
roll out of the
roll out
fucking car,
and
take a
watch as
fucking
it
gun, and just start
explodes
trying to
and
shoot
start
Batman.
laughing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or he'd let the car keep going, hit someone, and be like, "Oh, are you okay?" And they're like, "Yeah, I think so. He's okay," and shoot him.
Yeah,
Or just like, "Hey, oh man, I missed it," and kneecap him or something. And just
Yeah.
start laughing as they're screaming. Like that's the Joker. Like, even get back to the movie. He lets one of the guys go.
Yeah.
We were all like, "Oh crap!"
yeah.
Because he kills one of his so-called friends, and then the guy who was actually his friend, you let go. He's like, "No, you were good to me."
He gives him a kiss on the forehead and says, "You're
Yeah.
the only one that was actually nice
But
to me."
you have no idea. You're like, he's gonna fucking kill him.
Yeah.
He can't, because he's
And it
the
looks
little
like he's
person-
gonna.
Yeah, he's the little person. He can't reach the lock.
And as he's walking by, he fucking scares him. I love that part.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
He's
like,
fucking
ah!
scares him. And the guy's like, "Oh god, oh god."
That was
And
so
he lets
funny.
him go. I like that he actually lets him go, because that's the Joker. You don't know if he's gonna fucking give you $100 or shoot you in the head.
Because
Because
it's
he
not.
might do both.
Because it's not about fear. It's not about anything. It's about sending a message.
That's that. Joker.
I know.
No, real Joker's just like there's 4 of us in this room right now. He'd shoot 3 of us and then give me a freaking candy bar. Like, just because, like...
Well, thank you for killing us already in your fucking so-called imaginary Joker land.
But that's what the Joker would do.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'd kill you guys, give me a candy bar, open the door, let the cats out, and then he'd be like, yay! And just walk down the street. Like
nothing
that's
happened.
who he is.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. I also like the ending part where it almost set it up as like, yeah, this is going to continue going.
I don't want it to
Right, because
continue.
it showed like, oh, he was being escorted. You know, he was in a police car after he shot the guy on TV, and they got
let
hit.
him out.
And who knows
he got
if
broken
that's
out
real?
from the mob of the crazy clown people in the masks.
Yeah, but who knows if
They all looked at. Yeah, I mean, it could all be at his imagination, but I don't know. And then he's he basically is like, oh, like they see him as their leader. That's how he kind of rises to his power and has all these mobsters, not mobsters, but all these henchmen working for him because they revere him and they're like, yeah, you know what, we like what you're, just do whatever the fuck you want. Like we like
did that in the Dark
we're
Knight
tired
too.
we're tired of being downtrodden and poor and all the rich people just look down on us and step on us and treat us like shit. Like we're gonna take back the city by force,
Right.
But
So
what
kind
they
of
don't
set that
realize
up.
is that that's not what he's about. Not really. He just doesn't care. He just likes.
But
the
if
chaos.
but he finally felt accepted at the end, so
Yeah.
he might take on that life because he's like, look, this is what I'm actually good at this. I'm actually getting results from this. I'm actually have followers that cheer me and appreciate me.
Because even in that interview when he's having with that guy that he shoots, Murray, he's talking about it. He goes, "What happens when this is what happens when a society abandons a person. This is what happens. This is what you get. You get exactly what you deserve." And he fucking pops him. It's like,
yeah, but that's not a very, in a way, it's understandable, but it's also not a Joker thing. Joker would just shoot him just to shoot him.
yeah, but this is
He would be
again.
like, I'm shooting you out of the way. I don't care.
But that's the thing. This is Joker year 1.
Yeah,
He's still struggling with it. He's still struggling
He
with
hasn't
it.
come up with his identity or who he is.
Yeah, he doesn't realize that
just
he
going
just
off.
doesn't give a fuck anymore.
Hopefully,
He's-
hopefully, if they do a second one, they do it that
Right.
He descends to where he becomes like in the comics. Not he wants more revenge. No,
Right.
Maybe at first he wanted revenge, but now he's just like, dude, I don't give a shit.
Honestly, I don't even think he really wanted revenge. I think he went on the Murray show to kill himself. Like,
Yeah,
that's what
he
was going to
definitely
happen.
Did
And then people fucked with him.
they drove him to.
I think that as the guy, Arthur is still trying to hold on to that piece of humanity that he has left. That piece of reason, of logic that's in his head.
I think he gave it up.
I
The
think
second he put this, I think the second he was practicing there, I think he had given it up because he was like, "I'm dead. I don't care. I'm gonna do whatever the hell I want."
Yeah, but I don't
I'm
think
I'm gonna get revenge, but
But I think he wanted to die with his humanity. I think he wanted to die.
no, I think he wanted to die just to.
Yeah,
to be
but
like, fuck you.
yeah. No, I get that, but I think I don't know. I don't think
He wanted to get the last laugh. Like, cool. You want to make fun of me? Cool. Make fun of this. Like, come, have your show come back from this shit.
Yeah,
He might have done it like straight because he was saying, he's looking for a joke, and he might have been thinking like, do I want to do this or not? And then he finally said like knock knock, and then the guy was like, oh, it took you that long looking through your book
Fuck
of
you.
jokes
Boom.
to say knock knock, and maybe that's why he changed instead of saying going through with it and saying knock knock, who's there, and then shooting himself.
Yeah.
He changed it to the
But
fucking
even-
drunk driver bullshit that got a rise out of everybody, and then he finally was just like, all right, I'm just gonna kill you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just like from what I was reading on it, as I was looking at it. Yeah, even though he was there to pretty much say "fuck you," he didn't care anymore. He didn't want to hurt anybody else. He was trying to be. He was still, even though he was going to kill himself, he was trying to be the good guy. And then because they pushed him, he was like, "That's it. It's over. I'm done."
Because I mean, think about it too. Is he looked up to this Murray guy like a lot of people do as like a celebrity? He looked up to him as like, he had that dream when they were watching the show. Like he was there in the crowd, and Murray called him up, and Murray was like a dad to him, you know, and being all nice to him. And that's how he thought he would be. And when he meets him, or when he first interacts with him, or when he's watching the TV, and then the guy pulls up clips of him and is making fun of him, he's like, oh,
Well, no,
like
he has
damn,
that
I don't
moment
like that.
Right before he sees the clip, he's like, it's me. Like, I'm on the team. I
Yeah.
made it. And then he's like,
And then he realizes
Oh.
they're putting him on there and making fun of him, not
Right.
like oh, this guy's actually funny, this guy's good, he's
Because
talented. They're making fun of him.
Because that, I think, is kind of, that to me is kind of normal. Not to making fun of, obviously, but the admiration of like a celebrity and stuff. We've all had like our own.
that's different.
Oh, yeah.
We've all had our own imaginary interviews while we're sitting on the fucking toilet, sitting in our fucking rooms where we're just talking to these people that we've looked up to our whole lives, and they're interviewing us, or they're talking to us about stuff, and you're just like, oh my god, you know what I mean? Like we've all had that feeling where we wanted that to happen, and just seeing like your hero, fucking
That was his last straw.
yeah,
That was
like, that was the
He
breaking
was
point.
already done before then.
But at least he
And
had that.
I think he would have. I think he still would have killed himself. But if they had just been nice and like, oh, heard you had a bad break, but keep
Yeah.
going. Like or he just like, oh, like explain what happened. Like, I think he still would have killed himself.
Yeah.
But he wouldn't have hurt anybody else.
Even if
But
they were
when-
making fun of him
when
at the
he
show
does that-
earlier, even if they were making fun of him on the show earlier when he saw the clip, when he would have gone on there, if Murray would have said, oh the set went pretty rough. I remember my first rough sets.
Yeah.
It gets better, man. It gets better, kid. Keep doing what you got to do. Like,
Well, not even being nice, just be like, explain what happened.
yeah,
And I don't even know if Murray necessarily was being mean. I feel like because like when they see him in the dressing room, he's like, "Oh no, I love this guy." Like he's like, "Are you sure?" Like let's just do a bit with this. Like his advisor, whoever was there, was like, "Oh, let's just do like a bit with him. We shouldn't do like a full thing because they saw him and he was in a clown makeup and was acting
and this
kind
guy
of
was like,
strange."
no, we'll make it
He's
work.
like, "No, I
we'll
love
make it
this guy. Like we'll make it work. He's good. He's good." Like I feel like he was probably just busting his balls at
work." He's
first
being a comedian. He's
and expecting the Joker to be mentally stable enough to be like realize that he's just kind of giving me and run with it.
Yeah.
But the Joker didn't see it that way. He saw it as everybody else makes fun of me, everybody else teases
But
me and puts
I
me
think a lot of
down.
people would see it like that.
Yeah,
Like,
they could, yeah.
'cause I wouldn't
But at the same
believe-
time though, that would be if he was serious about wanting to be a comedian. That would be a huge break for him. Even if they're just making fun of him, that could be his bit.
Yeah.
That could be
Yeah.
his. This could be. Oh, we know you from that show. We know you. You're famous for being made
For
fun
s-
of or
for
whatever.
sucking.
Like at least that's something. But he didn't want to be that. He
Right.
wanted to be taken seriously
you want to be
as a he wanted to make people laugh with his jokes, not with them laughing at him. Kind of
Right.
thing. So I feel, and maybe Murray, Robert De Niro's character Murray, maybe he was like honestly just he wanted him on just to make fun of him
right.
and get him out. But I felt like he was. It was.
I
Part,
think
it was.
so.
I think it was like half and half of like
Actually,
he actually
I
kind of
don't
liked
think
the
so.
guy, but he was just kind of busting
No,
his balls.
I think he did it to make fun.
Actually, I don't think so. I think he was trying to help him and give him his big break by just having them there, because he could have just made fun of him without having him there. He could have made fun of him and
even
continued.
The lady on the phone was kind of laughing.
No, she does what a publicist is supposed to do.
Yeah,
like,
but
hey, what do you think? We can just
Yeah,
have
but
you
she
go
was
on
also
and say a
like,
few things.
"Sure, yeah, whatever." Like,
The reason I say no is because the way Murray approached it, he's like, so have you been working on any new material? Like, kind of like, all right, well, hey, let's
Gave him a
redemption time. Let's go,
Gave
do
him a
it.
shot to
Do
kind
your
of
shit.
redeem himself.
We're here. We like to laugh, but I think it's because of what Dan said. Because he's a comedian, he thought.
he'd be able to handle.
Yeah,
handle
Murray
everything.
thought that he's just like every other comedian or every other celebrity who has thick skin, who doesn't really give a shit what you think.
No,
that they're
most
like,
celebrities
oh, whatever.
do not have thick skin.
Well,
They're very sensitive.
more comedians do. More comedians do. Like, you see a lot of people that go up on stage and make fun of their own weight. They make fun of their own, their poor life that they had. And they do it because they're just so used to getting the shit kicked out of them because of other comedians, because of other jokes, because of their friends or whatever, that it just doesn't affect them anymore. That's what he probably thought the Joker was going to be like. And when he started doing that, like with that joke, oh, it took you that whole time to do knock knock. He was meaning it like, hey, come on, bud, like
Like,
Yeah.
Like,
come on,
you know
this
what I
is
mean?
your-
It's like you're looking
maybe
through.
This is your chance. Like,
Yeah, you're looking through all this huge book you have of jokes,
And
looking for one, and
people
you
are
come
waiting.
up with a knock knock joke
Yeah.
that everybody can just say off the top of their head. Like again, I feel like part of him brought him on to kind of make fun of,
Yeah, of course.
but at the same because it would get him ratings. If
Oh, yeah.
he like they said, the fans really love you, so he's gonna do whatever the fans
Yeah.
want.
Yeah.
maybe
But I
I'll
still feel
trash
at the
him
same
first
time-
and then give him
Yeah,
this
but I
stuff.
feel like he went in with he didn't go in with just the mindset of I'm just gonna make fun of this guy the entire time.
What if he thought it was going to be like
But he's
some
made it
banter
time
back
to
and
even.
forth?
Yeah, it could have been that.
Like, he could have, like, he was going to make fun of him and then expect the Joker to turn around and be like, well, Murray, and start talking shit about him, and Murray be like, oh, all right,
old man.
okay.
Yeah, they
All
would've-
right, old
Alright.
man.
They would have
Aye.
laughed and had a nice moment, and then
Yeah.
But he ended up shooting him in the head.
Because he gave him
And
that
in the chest.
Yeah.
Because he gave him that look like, oh, it took you that long to come up with a knock-knock joke, and kind of looked at him like,
come on, dude.
let's go.
I'm setting
Let's
you
do
up.
something.
I'm setting
Yeah.
you up. Like,
For you to be like, yeah, so you'll remember this joke from your time, and then keep going with something stupid, something funny.
you could have been like, oh, you should be used to things coming. I don't know.
Yeah, you should be
Gonna make it
used to these
sexy.
old ass knock-knock jokes, right, bro?
Don't
Don't shoot us.
No, I do want to talk about just him shooting the late night host. The violence.
Oh
This movie.
man,
He
So
kills
great.
what? 6 people. 6
7.
people.
6 people on screen, but I think up to 8, including
Yeah.
if you count the girl,
Possibly
the
a
girl that
kid.
he was stalking. Maybe not the kid. The girl he was stalking, and then the therapist at the very end. They don't.
I think-
Yeah.
They don't show those deaths, but you kind of assume.
I think he did kill the little girl because that's why he was touching her backpack and all weird. I
don't
think
know.
he did.
We don't know.
I don't know.
We don't know, but I think
6
he did.
on-screen deaths. I
And
think
he
I
might not have
counted.
killed them. He might have just hurt them.
Yeah,
We don't know. But
and people
the
are going,
violence in this is not.
Kind of surprising.
It's realistic. It's brutal because it just
Happens out of nowhere.
shows it. It doesn't cut away really. It just there he is on the ground getting the shit kicked out of him. Look at that. This is what you have to deal with now.
Yeah,
That's
like
part
the
of
most
that's-
gruesome was the buddy in his apartment when they came and
got him with the fucking
he stabbed
scissors.
him in the neck with the scissors, stabbed him in the eye with the scissors, like in the forehead, and then started bashing his head against the side of the wall, like violently. And you're just like, holy shit, that came out of nowhere.
and people were up in arms about this dude. And John Wick, he has like 80,000 times more kills than the fucking 6.
I think I remember a tally. I think for the first one it was like 300.
Yeah,
Yeah, I saw a breakdown on John Wick and John Wick 2 where they showed like his accuracy, like how many shots he fired, how many he hit, how many headshots he got, how many kills he got with a knife, how many kills he got with hand, how many kills he got with other objects. Like they actually had like a breakdown of it. It was kind of interesting.
like
to see.
while John Wick is a great movie and there's nothing wrong with it at all, you get used to the violence.
Yeah.
You get used to it,
Here it's loud. It's visceral. You're
and it's
like,
in your face. You're like, oh fuck.
and also it doesn't happen all that often.
Yeah.
No.
It just
So when
all
it
of
does
it's just
happen-
like, oh, it's mostly like a quiet movie of
Yeah.
you just seeing this lunatic by himself dancing and doing weird shit, and then all of a sudden it's just like, oh
But-
fuck,
but-
like,
Oh,
while
fuck, what
he's
happened?
dancing, well, it's tense because not because you're like, oh, when is he gonna turn to Joker? It's like, no, what the fuck else is gonna happen to this dude?
What
like,
else is he gonna do?
how much more does he have to take?
Yeah.
And, but you're like, in a way, you root for him, and then the violence happens to him. Like,
And it kind of gives you a knockback to like, oh, that's right, you're fucking crazy.
and did you notice well, not just like the score when the violence happens, it fucking stops, especially at first. It's not like when he's laying on the ground after the kids. I noticed it then when the kids beat him up. I think the soundtrack fucking stops. It's
Yeah.
not like in other movies where it's like
You hear it
like,
list like in the background.
like it's all like, oh no,
Or you just
it's
hear
just
the-
like
you just
there
see
it
him
is.
laying on the
deal
ground.
with that shit.
Or like in certain movies you just hear the doom doom, like shit's happening.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, like, oh, okay, cool.
Like,
He's about to get his
this
ass kicked
movie
or
does
something.
have a
It was
little
just
bit of that.
Yeah.
It has it
Yeah.
after he's
after
you
he's
know,
fucked
you're
up.
like, oh, dude, he's too far gone.
Right.
And then
And, like,
it's just a roller
But
coaster.
like
not-
you said, with those incidents of violence, it's just silent. It's like, yeah, that's
And like
what
you
happened.
kind of, at least for like the one where he killed his buddy, like the most gruesome one in my opinion, probably for everybody. But like they showed it. They like showed him have the scissors, like pull the scissors out of his back pocket and kind of hold them. And you're like, oh, okay, he's good. He might do something. Maybe he's just bluffing, And then all of a sudden, just boom, boom. You're like, oh
Well,
shit.
it's not. I thought he was down in like the stomach, and then he's like, oh no, he just neck
Straight for the neck, the
fucking-
face.
What-
smashes. You're just like,
What I didn't understand is
Like,
that
That
Stop.
escalated
Like,
quickly.
you
And
make-
another thing too is like
he grabbed the knife. He grabbed the scissors way before he knew he was at the door.
Yeah,
So he was gonna
'cause
kill
he
whoever
probably-
was
He
at the
thought it
fucking
might
door.
be the cops, probably, or something, because they've been following him and stuff. But another things too is that I really like that kind of made it that made it feel more real. Is like when he was bashing the guy's head, like you hear the other guy in the room, like, "Oh no! Like, what are you doing? Like, stop! What are you? Oh god! Like, oh
Yeah,
Jesus!"
and 'cause he's
Like
like,
freaking
"Arthur,
out, like, "What did you
stop.
do? What did you do,
Stop."
Arthur? Stop!" Like, it made it feel like you were in the room. It was just like
Yeah,
it
you're
gave
like,
you
"Oh,
like that
fuck."
those goosebumps. Like, holy shit! Like this
and
is
I
realistic.
what you just brought up is that he's still trying to be the other guy was still trying to help him. He's like, dude,
Like, stop!
like,
What are you
stop,
doing? What are you
we can
doing,
fix
bro?
This, like, don't, like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? And I was like,
Imagine the balls that midget had. That he had to go. That he had to. Sorry, well that's what he is. Sorry, that he had to look at Arthur and go, "Hey, bro, can you get the door for me, bro?"
he tries not to so hard. He's like, because he like stops and he has his hands on the fucking door, and you can see like his head's down, and he's just like,
I need to ask him for help.
Yeah, can you
Can you
I
get the
don't
door?
have any other way of getting out of here. I have to see if he'll actually let
me
go.
live.
Yeah.
And he opened the
I
door
did
and
pick
he's
up on
like-
that though. Like when they first walked in, I picked up that he locked the door. Like he used the little chain lock. Like as soon as they walked in, I was like, uh oh.
At least so the dude would have to take a second to do it.
Yeah.
So as soon as he did that, I was already like on my toes a little.
But I don't
bit.
think he meant to kill him. I don't think he was going to kill him. I don't think that was the plan. I think it was when he said, "Oh, remember, I'm your boy." Like, "Oh, remember, you're my boy," and he had snitched. him
Yeah,
out
but that
completely.
was the
like,
one who gave him the gun and then said,
right.
"Oh, yeah, he was trying to buy it from me." So yeah, I'm pretty
See,
sure he
I don't
intended
think
to kill him.
Yeah, I don't think it was
Full on
just the other-
intended to kill
because
him.
he locked the door. He already
Yeah.
he had the scissors on him. Like I felt like he was.
I think he was going to kill anybody who was at the door.
No,
at
no,
that
no.
time.
I
That's
think
why
if
he
it
grabbed
was just the other guy, he would have let him live. He'd be like, "Oh, thanks." Like,
Yeah, if it's just if there's just this little guy checking in on me, might who knows?
he probably would have left him alone.
I think I don't know. I think Courtney brings up a good point of that where he was like, "Oh, as soon as he saw that it was him, it was like, yeah, it was going to be over." But I think it goes back to that moment that he's trying to struggle with his sanity. He's struggling. I don't think he had the intention initially, even though he had seen him. Like he had seen him, and he was like, "Nah, I'm gonna let it go. I'm just gonna let it go. See what they need." So, "Oh, we brought you something to cheer you up," and he's like, "Oh, that's sweet." And the guy's like, "Yeah, of course. I just want to make sure our stories are straight. Because I'm your boy." And when he was like, "No, you're not," like in his head, he was like, "No, you're not. You ratted me out. Fuck you."
And he didn't say
Stab.
That's what. He didn't say that.
Because he said it at work though when he was leaving. He's like, "Yeah, you should ask Randall all about it." And he's like, "What the fuck do you mean, blah blah blah?" And that's when he's like, "Oh, I should have punched out," and fucking breaks the clock. I was like, "Oh fuck."
I do have another. I thought the scene where he's in the chick's apartment, where he's in her apartment, was very realistic. Her reaction. She doesn't scream at him. She doesn't yell at him. She asks him to leave because I think, at least what I got is that she has lived there for a long time. She's seen him before, clearly, and then she's like, "Oh, something's wrong with him. Hey, can you please leave?" Like,
I think she knew that he was off,
yeah,
and it was kind of like, "Hey."
yeah. She's like, "Please leave. I can go get your mom." Like,
She was trying to help too.
yeah, she was trying to be nice, and it was just too late. It was too.
Because that kill, if it was a kill, we don't know again. That broke the mold. Because she was nice to him. She wasn't mean to him. She wasn't a dick
We
to
don't
him.
know that.
Because what we saw was her being nice to him, but that was all in his head because she was never there. She was never doing.
No. I'm
Except
talking
in the
about.
elevator.
I'm talking about
Except,
the elevator.
yeah, except the elevator.
The elevator, she's nice
Yeah.
to him. Like, hey, and like, kids, right? Fucking
Yeah.
whatever, right? Like, she seemed to be like polite at least. Maybe she wasn't nice like his delusion, but she was polite. She was trying to be genuinely nice. Even when he was there, she was like, "Oh, let me call your mom. We'll figure this shit out. Like what's going on." I don't know. I think he was a lot more like I think he struggled a lot more, and he was trying to be the good guy, even though he wasn't. It's just my general synopsis of that, I guess. Overall, still, it's a great fucking movie. I think it's worth a second see. I
would be completely down to go see it again. I need to see it again because there's stuff not that I missed, but I'm like, I want to see that again.
Yeah, a lot of times you rewatch something, you'll pick up on things that you didn't
new
notice
messages,
the
new
first
things that
time.
you didn't see the first
Yeah.
time. Yeah,
Even the detective stuff. I like that the first thing when the detectives come and talk to him, he accuses them of doing that to his mom.
yeah.
He's like, "You guys did this." They're like, "No, she just started freaking out," and I believe them.
Yeah.
I think they just asked her simple questions, and she freaked.
Yeah. I think the skinnier cop, yeah, because the other one was fat. So we're just gonna go with that. I'm a fat.
Oh, and they're dead, by the way.
I'm a fat. I can call people fat.
No,
It's
I
fine.
think they're in critical condition, and the guy, one of the cops shot, is dead. When he shot him on the train,
Yeah.
when he shot him in the stomach, he's
Probably.
dead.
He said both of them were in critical condition.
Yeah, both cops are.
Yeah. That's what I mean.
But the actual civilian, the
Oh, the
cop shot, is
civilian.
dead.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about the cop. You said that the cop was dead. I was like, no, he said that both of them were in critical. Anyway, the point is, I think the skinny guy kind of caught on to how fucked up the Joker actually was. That's why he asked him about his laughing condition. He's like, oh, is it really a condition or is this part of your act? Kind of like, bro, you weren't carrying that gun for a fucking act. You know what's going on. Like, come on.
See, I think it is a condition that he just
No, I'm sure it is a condition.
like-
I'm just saying that guy.
he got tired. No, I mean like he has the laughing condition, but he got tired of having to explain it, so he just became he stopped fighting it against it. He just let it become part of him.
And he just let it be funny.
Yeah.
I don't know. Overall, movie was great.
8 out of 10. Good movie.
Yeah, good movie.
What do you say out of 10?
What would have made it a 10
That's like
for
a
you?
good. I don't give many movies like over an 8, so that's like a good.
Did you
Eight
give,
and a half.
Did
Eight
you
and a
give
half out of 10
Avatar
was good.
a better rating than this fucking movie?
Avatar?
Avatar, the blue people
No.
Avatar.
No,
Good, because
What
fucking
about
hate that
what
movie.
about the other Avatar?
I never saw it because it was
Yeah,
horseshit.
The Last Airbender? Yeah, that one
Yeah.
was like a
That was like
negative
a 30.
36 out of 10.
Those poor actors.
So bad. Poor kids. They were
I
in their
feel bad.
careers.
I feel bad for everyone who had to be there because they probably thought like, oh, everything looks right, like everything.
It's just like The Last
It's
Jedi.
just-
I'm sure it's cool, you know, and then at the end of it, they're
No.
like, wow, this is a piece of shit.
Sean, what would you give it if you had to rank it?
The Joker movie?
Yeah,
I give it 9.5.
Courtney.
I would say probably an 8 or a 9. It was really well done, I feel.
For a second, I thought you were going to say 6. I was like, oh, you're so cold. But no.
No.
And I'm not gonna rate it because I need to see it again before I gave one.
Right, this is my
Yeah.
review before.
Yeah,
Before
I don't want
seeing
to
it again.
rate it.
Give a review now, you motherfucker. We all did. Put us
Yeah.
on the
The
spot.
rating, I would say an 8, but everyone else is laughing at me. I do have problems. I always say that. I don't like. I like the Thomas Wayne stuff.
You picky
not-
fuck.
I don't like that they had the killing of the Waynes in it again. But that's more just because I'm a comic book nerd and I've watched so many of the movies and they have it in every Batman one. I'm
But I
sick
like,
of it.
but you just said that. It's in every Batman movie. This one wasn't a Batman movie. This one was a Joker movie.
But
So,
they even had it in the Superman, Batman versus Superman movie, and it was a Superman movie,
Yeah.
and they had it in
yeah, I know. It's a piece of
Freaking
shit movie.
annoying.
We got it. It's a piece of shit movie.
That
we all
was
got
Batman versus Superman. It wasn't. It was both movies. It wasn't just a Superman movie.
it. Yeah. And it's also a piece of shit. Like, we get it. We understand the point. Like, but this movie wasn't a piece of shit. They redid it. I think they did it pretty well. I agree with you. I don't like the fact that it's inadvertently connected to the Joker. It shouldn't have been, but I respect it. I
think
respect
that
it.
was a like the Thomas Wayne stuff, the Bruce Wayne stuff, where Arthur's talking to him. I think that was good. I think the killing of the Waynes was like a studio note where they're like, "Hey, you have to put this in here just in case you want to do something with it." Or I'm like, "No."
But it also
just-
kind of makes sense though, like the timeline of
Oh, yeah.
him going on TV bashing
I think
Thomas
they-
Wayne, and then the riots happening in the streets when they're leaving the theater. Like
And it's a perfect way to set up.
instead of at least for the most time I've seen it portrayed, there's
It's
no
supposed to
riots
be
going
random.
on. It's
Yeah, it's
it's
supposed to be
just
random.
it's just they're walking down an alley and some thug
It's
just
a random
shoots them.
It's supposed to be random.
Yeah, but I mean they can make it whatever they want. You know, it's just like they said,
Sure.
they're doing their own thing. Like it in this environment, at least, it's not just like I don't know. To me, at least, it makes more sense.
It would be worse if there was the riots going on and all this shit was going on, and they're walking down the alley, and then they get hit by a car or something. Like, what the fuck? No!
A car killed my family.
Yeah.
He's gonna become like an auto insurer or something to raise the prices on auto
Nah,
insurance so people don't drive cars.
Batman goes to
He's on a bicycle.
He's a moving rider.
Batman's alter ego works at the fucking DMV.
Yeah, DMV just pisses people off.
Yeah,
He just has the mask over like a button up polo shirt.
You filled out the wrong form.
Right. I need a 23D. This is a 23B. Oh, come on. I already did this for 3 hours. Get back in line, please. Pull a new number.
Sir, you have to get in the red line. I already stood in the red line. Go stand in the red line.
That would be I would like to see that. That would be a great movie.
If I had to rank it, I give it, like you guys said, I know it's 8 out of 10. There's some flaws, not many. I think I would like a little bit more time with the movie. I think it was paced good. I think that was good. I just personally would like it a little bit more stretched out, a little bit more into his home life, a little bit. Because you see one scene where he's feeding his mom. I just want maybe a little bit more with the files, a little bit more, not about him, but about what happened in his past. A little bit.
I mean, in my opinion, they kind of said all they needed to. He was abused, he was chained up to a radiator, he was malnourished, he was abused by his stepfather or adoptive father, whoever the fuck.
But goes back to what Tyler said before. How much of that do we know is real, or was it delusion?
I mean, me personally, at least when I first watched it, all I thought that was a delusion was his delusion when he thought he was on the show when he wasn't, and then his delusion of the girl being with him when she wasn't. Everything else, from what I thought, was real. And maybe it's not. And maybe they did that because maybe they made it that way, so you're uncertain. Yeah. Like each person can take away different things. Some people can say, "Oh, I think that scene was fake. I think this thing was," and maybe not. Maybe a lot of what we saw was just happening in his head. Yeah, you don't really know. Maybe he never. Well,
it's called the unreliable narrator.
Yeah.
And it goes back to the way Heath Ledger framed the Joker, having him tell different origin stories and everything like that.
Well, Heath Ledger does in the comics too,
right?
Like that's where
he does in the comics too. It kind of gets to the point where you're just like, how much of this is really what he's saying, or how much of it was just bullshit, pretty much.
It'll be even worse if it's flipped. Like the things we think is fake is actually what happened, and the things that we're like, oh no, this is bullshit. Like
the girl was actually with him, and she really cared about him, and he was just like
his mom.
And like when she saw him when he was in her apartment, she actually came up, oh hey honey, how's it going? What's going on? And then he just kills her. But what we saw was, who are you? Wait, you're that Arthur guy from down the What we saw was her knowing who he is, but they weren't together like he thought they were, or like that we were being shown. So that's when the audience came in on like, oh, they weren't actually together. She knows who he is, but they're not like together. Because she's like, you're Arthur, right? Yeah. Like, you're down the hall. Like, but he thought, and we all thought, or at least they were showing us that they were together. So, I mean, that's.
But imagine that though.
I kind of like how they did it. I think the first time where he opens the door, he's like, oh, she's like, oh, are you stalking me? That was a little heavy-handed, but I liked that. I think it was a good setup where you could have someone, hey, would you like to go see my comedy? And have her be like, because how she does, he's like, all right, sure. And then she's kind of there to be nice. I could kind of see that.
Yeah. Because going back to the whole.
If he did terrible, she would still be like.
I feel like all that was fake though, because they even showed like.
No, it was fake.
No, it was fake.
It was fake, but it gives it more probability because when we like a girl, we all do stupid shit. We're just like, oh, what's she doing? Oh, fuck. Okay, cool. Like even if she picks up her phone, you're like, oh, she's texting. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just delusional.
Some stalkerish behaviors there. No.
Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm the one that does that.
Yeah, sometimes you'll follow her down the street. You'll
No, but we all do stupid shit when we like them. Whatever. We'll like. At least I've done this before, and this is weird. I know, but I've done this before because I'm observant and because I do weird shit. I kind of listened into a girl's conversation that I liked, and I found out specific chocolates she liked. So I went to buy her some. And I kind of left them on her desk, and
It's like I went to her house.
no.
I stayed in her
I
closet.
followed her to the
I slept right by her bedroom
to
one
see
day.
her grandmother in the home.
Hey, you know what's funny? Actually, real quick, a little tangent. Talking to one of my ex-girlfriends, it was so funny. We were at work, and she told me, she goes, "Yeah, I remember the day that you broke into my house and fell asleep in my bed." And I was like, "I didn't break into your house. You went to a friend's house, and you told me, hey, just go inside my house and wait for us. We're gonna be there in like 5-10 minutes." And you guys never came back. I was just thinking about how like shit is interpreted over the years. Memories fucking unreliable. She thinks I
Was
went
that
into
real?
her
Did she
house.
really have that conversation with you, or did you just think she did?
What about the?
Maybe she never told you to come over. You just put that in your head as an excuse to when you
No.
when you
She
broke
never.
in.
She didn't tell me to come over. I went over to her house to see her because I thought she was gonna be home. She had said at school she was gonna be home, and I got there and no one was there. I knew that they were hanging out. Like a bunch of our friends were hanging out, and they went to a friend's house. And she said, "Hey, we're gonna be back in like 5-10 minutes. Just going
But
to the
what
house."
if she didn't actually say that? What if you just convinced yourself that she said that?
I was on a lot of
to
drugs, so I believe that.
justify your breaking into her house.
I believe that. I was on a lot of drugs, so yeah. No, I get you. I get where you're going with this. It makes sense, at least to me.
So Dan, how long before we
Right,
explain
I
to
guess
Sean that we
I'm
don't
hoping
exist
I'm-
either, and
I'm
that
hoping-
he's speaking into an unplugged microphone?
Don't
I'm
do
hoping
that.
I'm the midget in this situation and I can get out.
What are you talking about?
I'm just saying, if you kill him, then I just hope I get to go free. That's all.
Why would I
Oh,
let you go free?
And at the scene in the end where he shoots the talk show host, that is a direct, not ripoff, but homage to The Dark Knight Returns, where Joker slices the late night show's neck open with a broken coffee cup.
Oof.
He breaks on the table and then he has Joker laughing gas sprayed throughout for all the audience, and
And
they'll
they're all
die
laughing.
laughing because they can't. They suffocate laughing.
Which it kind of showed in the movie how he was like laughing at one point, and he was laughing so uncontrollably that he couldn't catch his breath. I don't know if you guys noticed
happened
that.
multiple times where he's trying to stop.
Yeah, and
he
he's like,
can't.
like almost not catching his breath. So I'm wondering if they're gonna try to do some of the thing like the laughing gas thing in the future movies, if
So,
there is a future
Yeah,
movie.
which probably won't happen. Which I still don't think should happen. Leave this one alone. Let it be what it is. Like I don't want to like. This to me is like a Logan. I don't want a Logan 2. I want just leave it where it is.
But Logan died.
Yeah, Logan was
Joker
at the
didn't die.
end. This is the beginning of a story. This is not the ending of a story. This is the beginning of one. All
I don't
signs
know.
point
I'd
to
be
the
okay
beginning.
with either. Like, I would like to see another one, whether it's a Joker movie or if it's a Batman movie and he's the Joker in it. I would like to see.
Because the
But
one that they're doing with
I'm
Robert
fine with
Pattinson, the one that they're doing with Robert Pattinson was supposed to be the way it was the way it was explained, or the way I read into it, because in the Dark Knight and Batman Begins and all that stuff, they never call Batman Batman. They always say the Batman, the Batman, the Batman. It's always the Batman. These new movies, the way that they're supposed to be called, it's gonna be the Batman. It's basically stating that it's either a homage. Well, that was weird. Either a homage to the Christopher Nolan films, or it's a direct link to the Christopher Nolan films. Either it's the early years of that, or it's just a homage to it. The fact that they always say the Batman.
That's not where the Batman comes from.
Are you sure?
Yep.
Because that's what they had said when they were talking about Robert Pattinson being the
No,
Batman.
the Batman they call him that in the comics too.
Oh, do they?
Yeah,
I'm not a
has
big
nothing
Batman
to do
fan.
with that.
I'm not a big Batman fan, so I'm
They
not
call him that.
entirely sure.
There's an entire show. You know how they have the Batman the animated series? Well, there's another show that covers a lot of the same ground, which is actually okay, called The Batman.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so it's
I love the Batman animated series though.
Mhm.
That was such a dope ass fucking show.
It was.
One of the best shows. That was where Harley Quinn got her start in, right?
yes,
In the animated series, and then
Harley Quinn.
and she got so popular that they had to make her a comic book character.
Well, they didn't have to; they decided to.
Oh, really? She didn't originate from
No.
comics?
Nope,
Oh, I never knew that.
she came from her creator.
If you
Paul
ask
Dini.
Aaron, though, he'll tell you that she did.
No,
Aaron thinks that Harley Quinn is the same one from the Green Guardian. the Green Guardian, there was one called I can't remember. I can't remember if it was directly Harley Quinn or Harleen Quinzel or something like that. And
Well, because that's like her actual name, though.
yeah, it's her the actual name. But in the Green Guardian, I guess there's a character from what fucking Aaron explained to me. That there's a character named that, and he thinks that it's her, and that's why they added it to the Batman. I was like, I don't think it is. I think that's just a happy accident that occurred, as Bob Ross would say. Happy accident. I don't know. Overall, the movie was really good. I'm looking forward because I think this is just the first step. I think there's gonna be more movies, so I'm so excited to see the new movies.
Well, as long as DC keeps going the way, if they go it like this, they're gonna have.
That's another thing that I didn't really think about. Like, this was the best DC movie in years.
Oh hell yeah, dude! Way too good.
And it wasn't handled by like a DC studio, I don't think, right?
No.
It was like
It was the guy from The
independent. It was like an
Hangover.
independent. Yeah, it was a comedic actor or a comedic director that took it.
Yeah, he took it his own way.
Like, yeah, that was like the best DC movie for a very long time.
It's funny because some of the interviews and stuff that he did, not really interviews, but more like written interviews, like articles about interviews that they have with people. He was talking about it, and he was saying, I can't do movies like The Hangover anymore. I can't do comedic movies like that because no one can take them anymore. The culture's so sensitive that I can't do the movies anymore. I have to do stuff like this.
Yeah, I saw like on Twitter and everything. Some people were backing him, but a lot of people were like bashing him, like, oh, just because your comedic taste is racism and sexism and stupid jokes and blah blah blah. Like, I saw a lot of shit on Twitter about that.
But that's what comedy is. Not racism, not all that stuff. It's all the bad parts of society that we don't like just made funny. You're trying to make a joke out of the situation. Like, what is it? Godfrey, the guy who plays the fucking voice for Iago.
Oh,
Yeah,
Gilbert Gottfried.
Gilbert Godfrey. I couldn't remember his first fucking name. He got fucking basically blacklisted because he made a joke, and yes, it's a bad joke. It was a bad joke. I think I don't think that it was a good joke to do. It was right after the tsunami. He made a joke about the tsunami in Japan, and I was like, maybe you shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, but how do you know where the line is if no one crosses it?
True. I just don't think that he should have been blacklisted for it. I mean, he lost everything from that shit. I don't think he should have. I think people should innately realize that he was just trying to be funny. He was trying to make light of a situation. Because I remember there was a few comics that were kind of they weren't even blacklisted, but they were looked down upon because they made 9/11 jokes. Because people were making 9/11 jokes, people were making more racist jokes about Middle Easterners and stuff like that, and people were like not blacklisting them, but they were like, hey, maybe you shouldn't. But it's like you've said, Tyler, it's a different world than it was back then. It's a completely different world. So,
Yep. Thanks.
What?
No, not to you. Not thanks to you. Just in
Thanks
general.
to them.
Thanks.
I don't know. What do you think? Do you think that he should have gotten the criticism that he received, the director for the Joker?
No.
I
None
don't
of
think he should.
all of this was overblown. It was all bullshit hype. Like, people are so damn afraid about something happening. Guess what? It happened once.
Ah, dude, and I'm gonna sound like a dick, but we're used to that. The people from Aurora. Oh my god, dude, just sing another song, bro. I get what happened. I get that it sucked. It was a terrible fucking tragedy. If it would have happened anywhere, I understand the sadness. I understand the fear. But like you said, it doesn't always happen. It doesn't always happen. It's a very rare occurrence.
I understand being upset.
Yes.
Your family member or friend was hurt or killed, but
But you're dramatizing him. No, you're not making it about him. You're making it about a character.
well, they're like, "Oh, you're sympathizing with him." I was like, he's not real.
Yeah. He's not a real person.
I could maybe understand if it was if they had the shooter, the actual idiot that shot people, and they made a movie about him, made him all sympathetic.
Right, made
I
it seem like
see that.
made it seem like, oh, he just had mental illness.
No one talks shit
him
about-
in a different light. Then yeah, that'd be fucked.
Nobody
This is
talks
a
shit about
makeup.
all these fucking documentaries that are coming out of all these serial killers.
Like the Jeffrey Dahmer one.
Yeah,
they
or the
did.
fucking Ted Bundy movie where
Yeah,
fucking Zac
sorry,
Efron.
sorry.
What the fuck?
Ted Bundy's
Both
my
of
man,
you,
not Jeffrey
You
Dahmer.
can't say that because guess what? People like those documentaries.
It doesn't
You can't-
fucking matter.
Zac
Look,
Efron is
you can't do
hot
that.
though.
when everyone likes it, and all these journalists who are coming out against the Joker, like, oh, we can't have those movies in theaters. They're the same fuckers who are gonna watch the Zac Efron thing. It's like
legit though. Have you seen that movie?
That's a real person. Real people who got hurt.
Have you seen the Ted Bundy fucking movie? Have you guys actually seen it or not?
I walked in on part of it because Courtney was watching without me.
Okay.
Rude.
I watched the tapes, and I did watch the other part of it without you because I.
Why are you accepting violence?
I wasn't accepting violence. I want to know what makes them tick. That way I can avoid certain people like that.
You're friends with one of them, so just...
Well, no shit.
Thanks a lot. That actually... Ow, self-burn. Anyway.
Exactly.
No.
Even worse is that he might not have been talking about himself.
Yeah.
You just assumed.
I was talking about Tyler.
No, you were totally talking about yourself. Don't even.
No.
Wow.
I'm just gonna say only one person in our friends group has a top 10 serial killer list. I'll just leave it at that.
No, Andy has one too.
And look, he comes from the same fucking family.
Look, all right.
You have one, but no one knows you have one. No, I'm just kidding.
No, the confession tapes, like, to what Courtney was saying. I almost forgot your name. Holy shit. I'm that sick. Holy fuck.
Hi, Brad.
That's not even the right gender, but whatever. No,
not even close, but okay.
Her name starts with a C, bro. Like, what the fuck? No, the confession tapes were really good. I appreciated the confession tapes of Ted Bundy. It showed kind of like the inner workings of the case, the inner workings of the interviews, the inner workings of what was going on.
We can't have it nowadays because it might offend someone.
Hang on. It was really good. But legitimately...
We have the First Amendment right to offend people.
Legitimately...
Like, get over it.
And legitimately, though, the fucking Ted Bundy movie with Zac Efron legitimately made it seem like he was set up. Literally. The whole fucking movie, it made it seem like he was set up. Not that he was a deranged fucking killer and killed people.
Ted Bundy says he's like, yeah, I did it. No, I don't care. Like...
At first, though, he was denying it.
At first, he was denying it, and then he said, yeah, it was me. I fucking did it. But it
he denied it because he's like, oh, these guys don't have enough evidence yet. Oh, yeah, I didn't do it.
Yeah.
And then he's like, all right.
Yeah, oh, you guys found it? All right, cool, dope. No, but, like, he's legitimately, whoever made that movie is trying to make it seem like he's not guilty. They even go as far as to show a car that's following him, and he starts screaming at him like, "What are you doing to my life?" I was like, "No, dude, that part never fucking happened."
But with the hype and all this stuff surrounding, we'll just go back just to this movie. Like I said before, the same people who are doing that are the same people who are
gonna watch the documentaries.
And it's like, guys, you're like what said earlier. You're the problem. You condone it when it's entertaining for you, but the second you get triggered because it's something you might not like, also now it has to be taken away. No,
a lot of these people,
either everyone gets it or nobody gets it.
Right, a lot of these people who were protesting or who were getting
take your toys away because
another 2-year-old was playing.
Yeah.
With
right,
them.
Exactly. A lot of these people who were also like giving shit to the Joker were the same people who were enjoying the TV show Dexter.
Yeah,
literally
that was
about
a good
fucking
show.
It was a great show until the ending. Yep,
fucking ending.
I agree. But that show is literally about a fucking serial killer who kills.
Yeah, but that's popular.
Multiple
they can
people.
Get away with.
Yeah,
they can get away with.
And also because they spun it to make him look like
comic book movie because it's
to make him look like a good guy because he was killing the bad guys. It's like no, he was killing. He had the urge to kill. It didn't matter who it was, but he kind of justified what he was doing.
In a way, to Joker killed what he saw as the bad people.
But no one sees it like that because no one, again, like you said, it's not entertaining for people. It's not. People are so stuck within their shell that, oh, everything has to be perfect. But life is not perfect. Those are people who just can't handle that anymore, who can't handle the fact that life is not perfect, that life sucks, that life is ugly, and...
Yeah, we need to raise kids nowadays to have someone tough on them in life because life is not easy. It's not all rainbows and unicorns, motherfucker. You gotta go out, earn your money, take care of your shit, and you're gonna be stressed to the max. That's how it goes. If you're not stressed, you're not doing it, right?
For real.
Unless Bernie gets elected and brings us that sweet, sweet socialism, baby.
And that weed, bro.
No.
Hell yeah.
Well, yeah,
we need all the weeds.
I was sitting there.
Every
that's part of
single
the reason why I wanted to go to the movie so bad opening weekend. So he'd be like, "Look, we did it. Nothing happened, you idiot."
Because nothing was gonna fucking happen.
No, nothing was.
I was surprised. I mean, the theater we go to is normally not as crazy
like
as other.
there.
Yeah, but it was very empty. I was surprised. Like, very surprised.
But
Especially, I mean,
such
just
good
in general, it's a
things.
Saturday. Like, there's usually a shit ton
That
of people
place
there.
is usually bopping on
Well,
Saturday. and shit.
kinda.
That one, like, that's
still
like
not all
literally
more
like
people,
the least,
but,
That's what
the
we
least
go there.
busy theater that
was
I
like a
know of.
Monday.
That's why I go there all the time because it's never like even when Star Wars and shit, like those big ones, it was crazy,
it
but
was
not
so
like
rude.
as bad.
Yeah.
But like there was hardly anybody in our theater. It was crazy.
Those people, when you're getting mad at Joker and it doesn't even like how the hype was doesn't match the movie at all. This movie goes against everything. They're like, oh no, it's gonna be triggering to the incels. And it's like, no, it's showing you like, hey, this dude is fucked up. Like, look at all the shit he did. Look at all the shit he caused. And yeah, it's all showing like, oh, okay, look, see what one guy did to show chaos and all that. But it doesn't show it in a good light.
Yeah.
It shows like, look how messed up this dude is.
Again,
this is the only way he got. Like, this isn't a good thing.
People don't want to admit, but fucking incels, people like that guy that actually, I guess, the one that wrote the manifesto and did all that stuff. He's a product of this culture. He's a product of this sheltered culture. He didn't get what he wanted, so he killed people. It's that black and white, dude. It's that black and white.
There's many facets to it because I would say it's not just that. It's also it's that with all the PC culture and all that stuff coming into it, where it's like, hey, you're evil. You didn't do anything, but you're evil. And then when he goes, fine, I'm evil. I'll do evil like.
But again,
I'm not saying it's right, but
no, but it's from that culture that shows you, oh, you're bad for doing this, so I'm a bad person. So why should I be a good person?
Yeah, I'm bad either way. I might as well do what I want to do.
Yeah.
And what this idiot happened to want to do was hurt people.
Right. And he was talking about because I don't know, because you saw that with
and that person is not right. No one condones it.
The first time, no one's right. No, well, none of them are right anyway. The first time I heard about someone getting pissed off because a girl wouldn't look at them or whatever, the first time I ever heard about it was because of the circular Son of Sam. That one was the first time I heard about something like that.
Is he the dude that the dog told him?
Yeah, the dog told him. People make it sound like it was just a dog. It wasn't really the dog. It was the dog's owner. The dog's owner was supposed to be, according to his delusion, the dog's owner is this super high-ranking demon from hell, and he has his. Say what?
Cool.
Yeah, that's what it was.
I wonder if you get lower rank.
I don't know. I guess his dog was one of his best assassin soldiers and was trying to go after the Son of Sam and just condone him to or make him do fucked up shit because he was stuck, or I don't know. That's part of the story. But that was the first time I ever heard about that shit. But it was said even from him, from his mother and everything like that, that he was always given everything he wanted, even though he was abused and all that stuff from his dad. But from his mom, he was given everything he wanted. And when he didn't get what he wanted, that's where shit started getting worse. But he was losing control already. But that was, I don't know. I guess that's the point of what I was trying to say.
Yeah, Joker movie. You'll see it.
Yeah, seriously. Again, thank you guys for being here and for joining us. Unfortunately, Dan and Courtney do have to head out. It's a little bit short, but yeah, go ahead and check out the Joker. See you guys later.